Welcome back to the Red Zone Rundown. All we do is talk ball here. Finally got back with my original host. Hung Gino up for the week. Wasn't sure this was ever going to happen again at one point.
Sorry, children make things a little hard.
It does. Life gets in the way.
I might be filming videos by myself in the next couple weeks.
That is true. My wife is very due. And she is very ready to be done.
Very due.
But this week here, we're going to get into some combine stuff, some free agency. We're going to hit our top 10 tackles as well. But first things first, guys, remember we are doing a giveaway. So we'll be to 500 subscribers by the time either Madden or the new NCAA football game comes out. We're going to give a copy of that game away. If we get to 1,000, we're going to give 2 away. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We want to give you some free shit.
And
we'll let you pick. Winner picks. Dealer's choice on if you want Madden or if you want the new college football game. I know which one I'd take. It's college football.
Only been waiting for it for the last fucking 10 years.
I'm so hyped. I'm so hyped for that.
You're not going to get me out of my house for...
No, I'm
going to be right here in the basement for at least a week.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking time off work. So if I might work people watch, sorry. Not sorry.
Yep.
I got vacation for a reason.
Yeah, we have a lot on our plate to do. I mean, we got to take Coastal Carolina to a national championship.
Yeah, I'm
Kennesaw State.
I'm hyped for it. That's all teams have bought into it. I did see a thing where Arch Manning is not going to be in it. Who cares?
My least favorite Manning.
Yeah.
Like Cooper
he doesn't want to see himself.
He doesn't want to see himself 67 overall.
In third string on the depth chart.
He's not going to be happy.
That was kind of a bitch move there, Arch. But all right, let's get into this week here. We're going to start with the kickoff. That's our two biggest sports related. Doesn't necessarily have to be football related topics of the things here. Do you want to start? You want me to start?
You can go ahead.
Obviously, for me, this one here, tugged at my heart a little bit this week. Obviously, Jason Kelce officially stepping away from the game. He had a very, very heartfelt conference
retirement speech.
Yeah, retirement speech there.
Probably one of the best.
Press conference was the worst.
Yeah, probably one of the best retirement speeches I ever heard.
I'm a grown ass man, and I was choked up.
Yep.
Had me damn near crying a couple times. That's the guy who, for somebody who's, I'm a big Pittsburgh fan outside of the Steelers. Y'all suck. I absolutely hate the city of Philadelphia. That man has been the only saving grace of that city for the last decade. So officially, fuck you, Philly. I hate you again. Jason Kelce ain't there no more.
He's gone.
You have no saving grace for me anymore. But that was my first one there. Obviously, seeing him step away. Brother, mom, dad was there. Wife was there. Obviously. Nothing but the utmost tremendous respect for that guy, and he's been a consummate pro. In Philly, I will encourage you, get this man a fucking statue.
Yep.
He is your greatest guy. He was, the guy from Invincible. Mark Papali. Yeah, Vince Papali. That's what it was. It was him. So now you got a real person now.
You got a real person.
But I do... I'm probably gonna make arrangements, in 5 years to go out to Canton for him going into the Hall of Fame. I don't see it taking more than 5 years, so that might be one that I make the trip out to watch him go in.
He was my favorite person in the NFL, my favorite player in the NFL. There's not a lot of guys that especially offensive linemen.
Yeah,
there's no one. Who was the last offensive lineman to have the face that he had? In the NFL.
None. There's no stadium you go into and that's the most jerseys you see.
Yeah. Is the center.
Yeah.
Usually, you go to a team. I remember the last football game I went to was Pittsburgh and Denver, 2 seasons ago? I don't think I saw a single offensive line jersey.
Probably not.
I think I saw one David DeCastro jersey in Pittsburgh.
Probably.
Which was,
maybe a Villanueva. He was big Villanueva, was a big fan out there. But not very many. You don't see very many offensive linemen.
You don't see very many. But it's...
You don't see very many offensive linemen win Sexiest Man of the Year.
No. Sexy Batman. He had the number one jersey sales amongst women.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He's the NFL sex symbol.
Yeah. And the center. It's the center.
Yeah.
So
my man's 300 and something pounds. I'm very excited to see his glow up. The glow up of an NFL lineman.
Yeah,
I have a feeling he's probably not going to do much of it. I feel like Sexy Batman's going to stay Sexy Batman.
He did talk on New Heights this week. He wants to get down to like 250, but he's not gonna. He's not a big believer.
What's his playing weight? He's probably 315 playing weight. Right?
I don't know. I mean, he came to the league at like 287, which was combine weight, so he put a little bit on, but he's not.
He was he was undersized when he came.
Yeah, I would say probably 305.
Yeah. But you'll never see another center that played the way he did.
No,
like the way he. I mean, they were watching highlights on ESPN the other day, dude. Just I've never seen a center. I've never seen a guard pull the way he does.
He can move.
Like that dude he pulls better than anybody in the league. And he's 36 years old.
And he's the biggest thing with me. The guy never missed a start. Like
no,
he never missed a start, and he was hurt a lot. Like the guy played through a ton of injuries.
And if you watch the documentary, I mean, it's known like this dude's body. There's days he couldn't get up and play with his kids.
That's a great documentary.
Selfishly, I wanted him to keep playing, but for what? For what cost?
Yeah. Did you see New Heights this week?
No. I watched bits and pieces of it, of them talking about his retirement, but I didn't watch.
I did like Travis's part when he was talking about it, because he said he hadn't talked to him about it, and he's like, I was hoping you wanted to, and he kind of got choked up as he didn't really want to be in. Didn't really sound like he wanted to be in the league without his brother. Obviously, Travis isn't retiring, but you could really see how much those guys really care for each other, and how much it meant to them to be in the league together, to be at the pinnacle of the league as well. It was a pretty good watch there. Travis got a little emotional. Jason did apologize. He was like, I got no tears left in me. I cried them all out yesterday.
Yep. I tell you what, that was one of the best retirement speeches, though. Did you hear that he asked Nick Foles and his wife permission to use the big dick comment?
Make the big dick, yeah.
That shit was fucking
It was hilarious. They mentioned that on New Heights this week as they did like a cameo video, and Nick.
That is just
Nick's on it.
That's just awesome. That is just awesome.
It was. You never see that again. You're never going to see somebody mention somebody else's
the biggest dick on the team went up to the guy with the biggest balls in the stadium. Just, I tell you,
you'll never see another dick joke in a retirement.
No, he was definitely the first and only person to mention somebody's dick in a retirement speech.
Yeah.
So, but hey, kudos to Jason Kelce. He had a hell of a career. I'm excited to see what his next chapter is.
He's gonna be on TV.
Yeah, he has to be on TV. He has too much of a personality not to be on TV. I hope he goes and enjoys a good year off with his family, with his kids. And
yeah, he said he's still planning on being around the Eagles facility next year.
Surprise me.
Yeah, so and probably some kind of like limited, maybe advisory / semi coached role.
Yeah.
So he'll still be around the league for sure. Yeah. He said the biggest hardest part for him retiring was because he does feel like that team's going to play with their hair on fire next year, just with how the season ended. He said it was one of the biggest things for him. It's hard for him to walk away knowing they're going to be pretty good next year. He thinks
100%. Yeah, I think they'll definitely get better. I think I think they're in good hands too with his replacement. Cam Jurgens is just going to jump over and play center. I think he's a little undersized to play guard, so I think he'll jump in and be the next center. He'll be the next center there for the next 10 years or so. I think they'll go out and get a guard, and I mean, if you're going to go out and get an offensive lineman,
Tyler Steen they drafted last year
Tyler
see
Steen.
if maybe he's ready to play guard. Maybe, they need a right guard. For sure.
The thing is with Tyler Steen, like it kind of sucks for him, but this draft is so loaded with offensive linemen. I mean, chances are they're probably going to take a corner with their first pick.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go off. Actually, in my 2-round mock, I had taken JPJ and leaving Cam at guard.
If they get JPJ, I'm going to be very disappointed.
I don't think JPJ is there at 22. No. I think he probably goes in the top 20. But it wouldn't surprise me.
JPJ is like getting the hype that Quentin Nelson was getting out of college. Maybe not as much of the hype as Quentin Nelson, because Quentin Nelson was the 6th overall pick. So
not quite as much, but the league was a little bit different back then too.
Yeah. So I mean, but JPJ might go down as one of the best centers ever.
I think he's probably the best prospect coming out.
Best center prospect I've ever seen.
I mean, I really like Creed Humphrey coming out, but he's better than Creed.
Yeah. The dude's solid. He's athletic. I tell you what, too, I really like Zach Frazier coming out of West Virginia.
I like Zach Frazier too. I like Graham Barton moving to center.
Yeah. Graham Barton, yeah, I guess he doesn't have very many. I was watching some film on him yesterday. I guess he had a couple games where he played center.
Ooh, I have to
and he was.
I'm trying to remember if he did.
But he played left tackle.
He played center.
He played left tackle his whole career.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Graham Barton moving to center. I mean, left tackle experience going inside. That's always good. Yeah. The Cowboys did that for how long on their offensive line?
Yeah.
The Cowboys, when they had that baller offensive line, they literally just got, with the exception of Travis Frederick, who actually played center in Wisconsin, the whole offensive line played left tackle at some point.
Yep.
Like Zach Martin was a left tackle. Tyron Smith was a left tackle. Who the fuck else? There was somebody, I forget who their left guard was at that time, but pretty sure he was a left tackle in college.
It's pretty. I mean, it's fairly confident. I mean, obviously, you're normally your best lineman in college plays tackle, and obviously when you get to the league, not everybody's that guy. You know, there's more talent there.
We're gonna get into these tackles. We're gonna get into our top 10 tackles here later in the show, but and we did our true tackles, guys we think are going to play tackle in the league. Obviously, Graham Barton, I think, would probably crack into your top 10.
I think Graham Barton can play center or can play tackle, but I think he's a better center.
He'll be a better better center.
Look ahead, not in our top 10. No,
not in the top.
He'll be in our interior top 10 for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
But what's your biggest kickoff topic?
My biggest. So there's a couple things going on in the league right now. I could be a homer and talk about my hometown team, the Denver Broncos, and what are they going to do at quarterback here. But I think there's
it's not official.
Yeah, officially, it's not going to be official. I guess I guess they're designating him. They're designating him a post June 1st cut.
It's post New Year.
Yeah,
so
he'll be.
It's not June 1st.
He's gone. He's gone. At the end of the day, he's gone. I mean, I'll just run through. Obviously, Russell Wilson leaving the Broncos, and the Broncos are pretty much going. It looks like they're finally going to go into a true rebuild, which they haven't done. I mean, the John Elway days, they were putting Band-Aids on their broken team and trying to fix it, thinking they're quarterback away. So let's go out. Let's give Trevor Siemian a chance. Let's take the 26th overall pick that we trade up for, draft Paxton Lynch, give him a chance, which he never really even got a chance. Paxton Lynch's not the answer, so let's get Case Keenum. Case Keenum wasn't the answer. Let's give Brandon Allen a shot. Let's give Jeff Driscoll a shot. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of them.
The other Cleveland Browns.
Let's give Teddy Bridgewater a shot. Let's give Drew Lock a shot. None of these guys.
I don't really feel like Lock got a fair shot.
No, Lock
was decent.
I'll be completely honest here. Lock suffered from the Vic Fangio era. Vic Fangio hates young players.
Yeah.
Vic Fangio likes veteran players that are established and do things his way. Because it's his way or the highway. Drew Lock outplayed Teddy Bridgewater when was his 2021 season? Or 2020? Yeah, it was 21 season, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was right on the COVID year.
Drew Lock 100% outplayed Teddy Bridgewater in the preseason. Do you think Drew Lock started the season? No. Yeah. Vic Fangio all he was worried about was putting a decent team on the field, and he thought he had a better chance at 500 just taking the easy shot.
Yeah.
Thinking he'd keep his job, putting Bridgewater out on the field.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of coachings that do that. They try to play just good enough to keep your job instead of.
And I mean, you draft Drew Lock, like what the fuck? Like, are you just not going to play him?
Supposed to be a first round pick.
If Drew Lock played, and if Drew Lock had a competent offensive coordinator, he did not. He had what? Rick Scangarello and Clint Kubiak. I think he had Clint. No, Clint Kubiak was the Hackett era. Rick Scangarello. Sure he had a bunch. There was a committee of guys. They had a new offensive. Yeah, they had he had Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur, which is not. I mean, obviously he's the OC at Colorado now, but he never got a fair shot. So for the first time, where I was getting at, the Broncos realized they're not a quarterback away. They finally are getting rid of the dumpster fire of the Russell Wilson era. In that, I mean, they got to change the culture of the team. You bring in Nathaniel Hackett, you bring in Russell Wilson. The whole Nathaniel Hackett era pretty much gave Russell Wilson full reign of whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah.
They let him not participate in team drills. You can go over here. Office. Yeah, you can have your own office and watch your own film by yourself. And, you can bring your own coaching staff in the building. because you don't have to use our coaches. Our coaches are going to work with your backups and the whole offense. But you can go stand over here and do whatever you want. But hey, you're okay, man. You won a Super Bowl in Seattle. You're our saving grace. You can do whatever you want. Oh, by the way, we're going to give you a really ridiculous contract on top of it too.
Yeah, they give him way too much power.
Nathaniel Hackett obviously realized he's not a head coach, and the Walmart guys who didn't hire him are like, okay, this guy fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, the leader of Walmart, who's a very successful businessman, looked down at Nathaniel Hackett and was like, this guy's a fucking idiot. So we get rid of Nathaniel Hackett, and what's the guy do? And you're in a CEO position of Walmart. What are you going to do? Obviously, when you're looking for somebody to run a business, you're gonna look at the homework. Like, obviously, Sean Payton fit what you wanted. You're gonna do everything in your power to make sure we're a winning team.
Yeah, everybody wanted Sean Payton that year.
Yeah, Sean Payton. Obviously, Sean Payton won, or the Broncos won Sean Payton over with the job. We all knew when he came in, he was gonna do what he could the first year, and he was gonna blow it up afterwards.
If it didn't work,
anybody realized it.
Yeah.
The only mistake I think they made was not being sellers at the deadline, because beating Kansas City was cool, beating Buffalo was cool, beating Cleveland was cool.
I did see where they didn't actually ask him to waive his injury. They asked him to move it.
Yeah.
They asked him to move it back, and he wouldn't. So that was a little weird.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, get rid of the drama. Obviously, we should have been sellers at the deadline. Probably could have got more for Jerry Jeudy at the deadline. Probably could have got more. Could have got something for Cortland Sutton. Now Cortland Sutton's just probably going to end up getting released if he's. I think there might be a chance he's still on the team, but
I think Cortland Sutton at least gets next year.
You got to get. I mean, you got to get. Obviously, you have an $85 million cap hit over the next 2 years, dead cap hit happening. So, I mean, you got to clear some stuff.
Most ever.
There can be 5. Yeah, the next 2 after it didn't even total that one.
Yeah.
The next 2 dead cap hits ever after that didn't even total.
Paying him $39 million to play somewhere else is pretty.
That's what the Broncos think of Russell Wilson. They are paying him $35 million this year and $52 million next year.
It's a lot.
They can spread it out. I think they could take a bulk if they wanted to. They can take a bulk this year. Like, obviously, they know they're going to rebuild. They're not going to compete this year. They can take the $50 million hit this year if they choose to. That way, next year they only have to take $30 million.
Yeah, there's so many different ways you can.
Yeah, they can spread it out.
These
but
days.
That's what the Denver Broncos think of Russell Wilson. They are paying him $85 million to not play for them. And they're okay with him going to Pittsburgh, to Washington, to Atlanta, and playing on a veteran minimum deal.
I don't know really what the market for him is outside of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh seems to make sense.
The only 2 I can really see is Pittsburgh and Washington, and maybe Atlanta.
I don't see.
I think Atlanta will suit. Atlanta might be able to go after Kirk Cousins. Atlanta will be able to get Justin Fields. Yeah, I think that's where Atlanta's head is.
I think Atlanta's all in on Kirk Cousins. Obviously, Kirk's wife's from Georgia, so kind of going home for the last couple of years of his career on a good team. And I think if they can't get Kirk, they trade for Justin.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's really a need for a longer contingent plan than those 2. I think they get one of them, whichever one they end up winning. I do think Kirk just makes a lot of sense. And it's gonna be interesting to see. Obviously, free agency starts next week, so I mean, obviously, we got to see where Kirk Cousins goes. We have to see where Justin Fields goes. That's the first domino that really see how the offseason goes.
I think once these 2 guys go, I think we'll have a better landscape of what the top 10 in the draft is. But kind of going back to the Broncos and Russell Wilson, what do you think they do at quarterback next year?
Who?
The Broncos.
Broncos. It's got to be a rookie.
I think Jarrett Stidham starts day 1 because they have Jarrett Stidham on the roster right now. I think Jarrett Stidham is your short term bridge guy because they're going through a full rebuild. They just got rid of their captain Justin Simmons, who was a leader in that locker room, who's been there. He was drafted the year after the Super Bowl. Yeah, the Super Bowl win. He has been there through the darkest years in franchise history, and was just a great guy in the community. I think, honestly, Justin Simmons leaving the Broncos hurts worse in the community than it does on the field. Because Justin Simmons, he was a 3-time Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. The fact that he never won that award just fucking shocks me. But that's a
tough award to win. Yeah. There is a lot of good dudes.
He does so much for the community. Losing him really, really sucks. And I think it really sucks for the defense. But I think it's them committing to a rebuild. Sean Payton is going to get rid of the guys. Obviously, one of the guys that are making too much money, the guys that are on expiring contracts or aging guys.
They almost have to, though, too, with eating that much dead money.
Eating the money.
There's going to guys just get cut. so you can have some roster flexibility. I do think Jerry Jeudy's traded.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy. I mean, they could probably you could send Jerry Jeudy to Carolina for a third-round pick. I think Carolina would be in on him. Yeah. I think a team like Atlanta might be in on him, looking for more offensive firepower.
Depending on what they do in the draft, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of anybody can benefit from a receiver.
Everybody needs decent
Kansas City might want him. I hate Jerry Jeudy. I'm just going to put that one out there. I do not like Jerry Jeudy at all. I was pissed off in 2020 when they picked him over CeeDee Lamb.
I had him higher than Lamb.
I wanted CeeDee Lamb more than Jeudy. Now, do I like Lamb that much? No, I don't. But for what was there, that's who I wanted. Obviously, I wanted Justin Jefferson, but I didn't. I thought he'd fall a little bit further, but he ended up getting picked higher than what he was, not higher than what I thought he was going to do, but still went behind some receivers I didn't think he would. Like Jalen Reagor going before him was just a nightmare.
Didn't Whiteside go ahead of him too? Whiteside
was the year before, and he went before DK. He was a pick before DK.
That's the one. Okay. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Jeudy. I mean, who doesn't need a receiver? There's not a single team in the league that wouldn't want a receiver. No. If Jerry Jeudy can go out and do what he did at Alabama,
he's got the talent. I don't think he wants to be.
If I were the Kansas City Chiefs, he doesn't want to be in Denver.
I think that's a bit.
He does not want to be in Denver.
You'll see a massive.
It's because there's too much. There's been too much. How do you call too much adversity that he has to deal with? Yeah, there's too much adversity there, and he's not. That dude has a couple screws loose, so he's not built for going through. And I mean, let's be real too. Denver's been a dumpster fire.
It has.
They should have rebuilt. They should have rebuilt years ago.
Yeah.
The fact that it took this long to go through a rebuild, you've wasted years of Justin Simmons' career. You've wasted years of Patrick Surtain's career. You've wasted plenty of years of these guys that have gone through and dealt with you through these years, and they have nothing to show for it. Obviously, the bad coaching hires. I think George Paton gets fired at the end of the draft, and they give all operations to Sean Payton, and Sean Payton's going to build this team the way he wants it.
I can see that.
But, yeah, so I don't know who's going to be the quarterback. I heard some rumblings of Sam Darnold. I think if you want J.J. McCarthy, you have to go up and get him.
I think it's either McCarthy or Nix.
Yeah.
I still think Nix is the perfect fit for Sean Payton.
I think Nix is there at 12.
It'll see.
Yeah, I mean, because it depends. I mean, obviously, if Kirk Cousins goes to Atlanta.
Yeah, it's going to depend on where Kirk goes. It's going to depend on where Fields gets traded to. And I think a big part of it's going to depend on what New England does.
Yeah.
If New England takes a quarterback, yes, you're going to have to go up. If they don't.
If New England trades for Justin Fields, obviously they're picking Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
And that's obviously a spot. So that bumps either May or Jaden Daniels down.
In my opinion, if that happens, if New England takes Marvin Harrison, I think I don't think there's a chance that 4's not traded or in play. 5 is in play.
6 might be a quarterback.
6 might be the one going up. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't surprise me.
And then do you look after 6? 7 can go down. 8 can go down. 9 can go down. Because 7's Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't know if I see 8 or 9 moving.
I can see 9 moving.
I don't know if I see 7 moving either. I think they're taking a tackle, whatever the tackle they have there. I think is what I could see. I could see 3, 4, 5, and 6 potentially moving.
I can see
6 isn't going to go back.
The only way I can't see 9 moving is if Rome Odunze is still on the board. If Rome Odunze is still on the board, 9 doesn't move. I don't think Rome Odunze makes it past the Bears at 9.
I don't either. I think that's definitely his floor. But I think if he is gone, I think they would go. Dallas Turner or Jared Verse. I think they would go.
I tell you what, that would be kind of nasty.
Yeah,
Rome Odunze with DJ Moore.
Yeah, the Bears honestly probably can make the playoffs next year.
Yeah, they're not in a hard division.
No, the division's not that hard. They have a pretty decent defense. Obviously, Jalen Johnson just getting paid right before we hopped on here, so he had a new 4-year deal, $76 million. I think it's 51 or 52 million guaranteed.
Yeah,
60 over the next 3 years. So obviously them getting him done, that goes a long way. Montez Sweat really changed that defense. We'll get into that later. Let's get back on to the
So that was my first one, just kind of my selfish homer pick of news in the NFL. Real quick to jump into my second one though. I think a big news in the NFL right now is the amount of talent that's in the defensive back and running back class for free agency. The amount of top tier
Specifically
guys.
safety.
Yeah,
The
safety.
corner- the
Yeah,
corner
no,
room-
yeah,
the
no,
corner
no.
room sucks.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant with safety.
The corner room
But
sucks.
I mean, if you look across the board, the Seahawks, they get rid of Quandre Diggs and Blitz Boy all in one day. You look at the Bills, they get rid of Jordan Poyer. Micah Hyde's a free agent.
Poyer surprised me, I thought.
Yeah,
I like Poyer. He's a
I
good
like Poyer a lot.
He's a good dude.
I think Poyer might be first or second one off the board for safeties. I think Poyer and Justin Simmons are the first ones gone.
Yeah, Jamal Adams, I mean, just name value is going to probably be up there as well.
Oh, Blitz Boy.
Yeah. I
Can't
mean,
stand him.
he does blitz a lot.
Yeah. It's coverage.
They gave up
liability.
they gave up him so much to go get him too.
Yeah. But yeah, I believe Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons, in my opinion, is a top three safety in the league.
Yeah, I
He's a
think
very good safety.
I think it helps the free agents this year too, because those classes in the
Are
draft
very weak in the draft.
aren't. There's some running backs that I think are very serviceable. I think there's a lot of serviceable backs
Yeah,
in the league, but no
I think
explosive talent. As far as
the
either side
defensive
goes.
backs in free agency or the safeties in free agency are definitely going to push the safeties in the draft and hurt them back a little bit. I think some of them hurt themselves, and we'll get into that a little bit. I think Tyler Nubin obviously is a very good safety prospect from Minnesota.
I mean, he's my number one safety.
But a guy like Cameron Kitchens, who just shit the bed in the combine,
Yeah, didn't have a great day.
no. I mean, guys like him, he's probably a third or fourth round pick now.
Yeah, he's still probably early second. I don't put a ton of stock as far as dropping a guy that much just because of it. And,
But what I'm saying is all these safeties that are available.
Yeah.
Safety
It
needy
hurts. It
teams.
hurts, for sure.
And there's so many safeties available. Not all of them are going to get top dollar.
yeah,
You're going to have some
it's
guys
not
fall
a
to
premium
the-
position
No,
anymore. So running
no.
back, safety is
And there's
a lot of talent
obviously
out there.
not because all the talent that's out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent out there, and it's two positions that guys aren't paying a ton of money to anymore.
And I think with the running backs, like kind of the opposite. I mean, there's some pretty decent running backs in the draft.
yeah,
Like you
there's-
got Blake Corum coming out.
I know, honestly,
the kid from Tennessee, Jalen Wright.
he's gonna be a really good third down
Honestly,
guy.
the fucking kid from South Dakota State looked good in the freaking
Isaiah
combine.
Davis, yeah.
Like there's some decent guys. Like obviously they're not blue. There's not a blue chip.
Yeah, there's no
prospect.
There's
this year.
no Bijan this year.
There's not a Bijan.
Jordan Brooks is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's hurt right now. I mean,
There's
it's his
plenty.
biggest knock on
I
him.
thought Dylan Johnson's really good in college.
Yes, I think he's still.
If you put Dylan Johnson behind a really good-
really bad.
Yeah.
Um,
But I think is he still nursing an injury
Yes.
and ran through it?
yeah.
I mean, he was hurt.
He's a dog. He's
Yeah.
he's a fucking just a hard nosed
Blake
guy.
Corum bench
Blake
pressing
Corum.
the same amount as
Joe
Joe
Alt.
Alt,
That's
which is
crazy.
absolutely ridiculous for a guy that's what is he 5'9",
Yeah.
benching 225,
Yeah,
27
didn't run the
times.
greatest, but other than that, I mean, he looked faster and he runs faster.
He
in drills than
runs faster, and
That's
if
around
you
the 40
if you
club.
watch his on the field drills,
It's a
his
lot
on the
better,
field
yeah.
drills compared to everybody around him,
he's real smooth.
yeah, 100%. They showed his they showed the bag drill where he goes jump,
Against
you
Marshawn
go over the
Lloyd.
bag, yeah, and just completely
Yeah,
blew
Marshawn
him
Lloyd's
out of
running
the
a
water.
faster 40, but
Yeah.
But speaking of Marshawn Lloyd, he put 25 up on the bench.
Yeah.
He's strong as an ox too. I mean,
There's really good running backs in this draft,
Yeah,
but there isn't that top guy that can just
There's not
give
a
you
day one guy.
the 3 down back that's versatile in all 3 phases of the game. The running,
the closest you're getting, in my opinion, is Jordan Brooks to a 3-down guy, and he's hurt. So
and I think some of these guys. I think Blake Corum's probably the first one going off the board because I think
I still think it's Jordan Brooks.
I think Blake Corum goes second round of the Chargers.
I think Jordan Brooks goes second round.
You think?
But yeah, I think you're going to see.
I don't think there's
run
any way
on.
Blake Corum doesn't go to the Chargers.
There's probably not. There's a very from like so I did start taking a look at my running backs, and I have like 15 guys that I'm looking into, and I probably could go farther. That I think find roles in the league, but my like 1 to 5 or 6. It's I mean, I'm like splitting hairs. Like you can kind of slice it. You know, Trey Benson out of Florida State's up there.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lloyd can be in that comparison there. The kid from Notre Dame, Audric Estime, ran really shitty, but he's a fucking powerhouse running back.
Yeah.
So there's not I'm kind of splitting hairs. There's not a whole lot of drop off there. So I do think in either the second or third round, there's going to be a big run.
There's going to be a run on them.
Yeah, it's going to be
once
one's going to
one
go
goes,
and 6 are going to go.
But how many times does that happen in the draft?
All the time.
Where one happens and everybody starts panicking. Oh
Yep.
shit.
Yep.
Maybe
Yep.
like and honestly, fantasy football people do that shit too.
Yep.
Like when a defense is picked, you fucking have 5
Yeah, there's
defenses
6
go
more
usually
going.
right
What the
after.
fuck just happened?
Yeah, right. But yeah, so I mean, obviously the running back class I think is going to hurt the free agent class. of running backs. Obviously, I think there's a couple
ways.
guys like that are gonna get paid. I think Saquon Barkley gets paid. I think Saquon Barkley will get his $13 million a year on probably a 3-year deal. I can see Saquon going to the Texans or the Eagles. Those are my two spots for him.
I don't think the Eagles got the money.
I don't think the Eagles. Here's the thing with the Eagles. I don't think the Eagles are paying a running back $14 million.
I don't either.
I don't think that.
I don't either.
I think Saquon is a Texan, and I would love to see Saquon paired with C.J. Stroud.
Are they out on Dame Pierce?
It seems like it. But Saquon is a bell cow, and he's still a bell cow. I think Saquon will be the highest paid running back of this free agency. I think we'll still see. I don't know where King Henry goes. I really don't. I don't know where he fits,
He's
really.
going to Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably...
One of them's going to Dallas, in my opinion. Dallas
because Jerry Jones will pay for a running back.
Yeah, one of them's going to Dallas.
Obviously, he paid Zeke Elliott. I can see
one of them go there.
I can see Derrick Henry going to Dallas, 100%.
So do I. It makes sense.
Yeah,
I think he's from Texas.
I think, yeah.
I'm not confident on that, but I'm pretty sure he's from Texas.
Saquon goes to Houston, I believe. I think that's a really good fit for him. Josh Jacobs, I think, is where it starts. Like, I don't know. I think Jacobs wants out of Vegas. Then you got Austin Eckler. What's the market for Austin Eckler?
I don't know. He's so hurt. He's injured so much.
Yeah. Like, I could see Austin Eckler being a guy that goes to, like, a bottom team that's trying to rebuild.
Carolina.
Carolina. Carolina, Washington. Like,
I think Washington likes their backs, though, with Brian Robinson.
Is New England in the market for a back?
I don't know.
To pair with Ramondre Stevenson?
Ramondre Stevenson's contract is up at the end of the year, so...
Yeah. I saw a rumor about Josh Jacobs going to New England.
I just don't. I mean, it's New England's hard to tell because it's such a fucking new era that I mean that they under Bill absolutely not.
We don't know what New England's going to do because of the
New England's a fucking enigma, especially when not having a GM.
And I think we'll see a little bit of New England has some cap space this year, right?
Yeah, like 70.
They have a lot.
Mil, 75. Yeah. Well, 70. They had 70 plus before the cap went up. So
I think we'll see what New England is about this year when free agency starts next week. Are they going to go out and get guys?
They're going to be fucking awful next year.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is blocking on that team?
I don't know who's playing quarterback. I don't know who's blocking.
At this point, I don't care who's playing quarterback. They're getting fucking murdered.
Yeah.
I'll save it.
They definitely need to get themselves attacked.
I'll save it for later because that's one of the things I want to talk about. Let's get back on topic here though. My second kickoff topic here for this week, it was a bad week for records, man. Bad week for records. Obviously, Xavier Worthy breaking the 40-yard mark in the NFL world. Shout out to Caitlin Clark for taking down.
I need a Caitlin Clark jersey.
Taking down Pete Maravich's record. Obviously, Pete did it in 3 years. But shout out, hat off to Caitlin Clark. She's going to be number 1 overall pick in the WNBA draft.
She should be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft.
She can play.
You're telling me right now, and I need your honest opinion, 100% honesty. Do you really think that Caitlin Clark wouldn't be able to help the Detroit Pistons?
No. I mean, yes, she would. Yes. She's a shooter for sure.
If Caitlin Clark was on the Pistons.
But she's already having the LeBron effect where when she shows up, ticket prices are going through the roof. People are paying a bunch of money to see it. I believe the Indiana Fever had the number 1 overall pick, so that'll be
the second year in a row they got the number 1 pick.
Yeah, so that'll be a big uptick for their sales. But just shout out to Caitlin Clark there, obviously breaking a record that stood for 40 some years, something like that.
Long time.
Yeah, it's been up there for a long time. Don't know if anybody ever gets to it. Obviously, she did have the option to come back with the COVID year. She could have came back and put it out of reach for everybody, in my opinion. But it's time for her to go.
Yep.
So that'll wrap up the kickoff here for us. Next, we're going to get into our obviously. First off, I want to start this off with the NFL world did lose a legend this week, and Chris Morrison. Passed away. He had a long battle with. He's been sick for a while. Obviously,
he's throat cancer.
He stepped away about a year ago to try to focus on that here. But with that being said, we're going to get into our Mount Rushmore of. Do you want to do ESPN broadcasters and play guys?
So I did my.
I changed it up plenty without telling you.
So I did my top 4 of who I would put on a Mount Rushmore, just for TV personalities.
Okay.
ESPN broadcasters, play-by-play commentators.
Okay.
Like I did my personal top,
which is
4.
what I told you to do.
Yeah,
so.
right, exactly. I did do.
When I did it, I was like, what? I had to make a separate
I did do an honorable mention list of 6, and I will go through that after. But so my Mount Rushmore, I did put Mort on there.
Okay.
Mort was always one of my favorite.
I love Mort.
I love watching Mort on ESPN. He was
great inside.
Yeah, he was great.
All right, so we're gonna get into our Mount Rushmore of sports broadcasters / play-by-play guys here. I'll let you start with your top 4 here.
Yep. So, like we said, I just did a top 4 list of everybody. ESPN, play-by-play, ever that I've seen on TV, just my personal favorite, my top 4. So, my first one was Mort. Rest in peace to Mort. He was one of my favorite guys to watch on ESPN.
Awesome.
Like, he was great with the players. He, like, obviously and when he passed away, I mean, you can see just the respect that everybody across sports had for him, and the impact that he had on ESPN and just sports in general. So I have Mort up there. I have John Madden on mine. Just John Madden was just legendary for the sport. Obviously, he has a fucking video game named after him. Like,
it is a shitty video game.
It's a very bad video game. Yeah, but
maybe next year will be good, right?
Yeah, they're gonna have to compete with NCAA now.
It's
so
the same
yeah,
place building it, but
so John Madden, obviously, I have him on there. I have Chris Berman.
Okay.
So obviously, like, he's huge with ESPN. He's been big for a long time. But never gets old.
Yeah, no,
never gets old.
Yeah, no, he's awesome.
Yep. And I have Al Michaels. Al Michaels has been a kind of just. He's just been there for how many? 30 years, 40 years. I watched Miracle the other day, and it showed from when they were playing the Soviets, like in the Olympics. What was that? 70. What year was Miracle? Was that 76 or 80?
I think it was 80. But.
Yeah, but I mean, they were showing him commentating that game back then. So I mean, obviously he's been doing it for a long time. No matter who he's with, like he made Chris Collinsworth tolerable to watch because Al Michaels is just the shit. So that's, if I had to pick 4, that's who I'm picking of TV personalities.
I'll give you my 4.
Yeah.
So obviously for me, I'm a little shocked this one's not on you. Maybe maybe my age is showing me here, but Stuart Scott was the GOAT in my opinion. You know?
So I had Stuart Scott on my original 4, and I replaced Stuart Scott with Chris Berman.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, I love
Stuart Scott was definitely. I just thought Chris Berman had the longevity and just the face of ESPN. I just thought
so much energy
that
with him.
That was tough. He would be my 5. If I had to put a 5th one on, Stuart Scott was my 1 off.
Stuart Scott's my 1s.
Yeah.
He ain't never coming off my list. I love that man. He was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Mort was my second one too. I love Mort for all the same reasons that you said. He helped so many people out in the broadcast land that you don't really see. It's pretty cutthroat organization there. So it's for him to give advice to some of the younger guys and stuff like that, and gals. Is awesome. I have Chris Berman in mind too. Obviously, the sound effects that he can do with his mouth are crazy. He was a lot of fun for me. And my other one here, he's still out there doing it. SVP. I love SVP. It's really the only sports.
So that's your whole ESPN one.
That's my ESPN one.
Okay,
Yeah.
Got it. Though my ESPN one would be very close to that, or probably exactly that, if I did a full ESPN one. I was trying to avoid doing somebody on the same platform. So my final 4, I just tried to spread it.
I'm with you.
A couple play-by-play guys, couple ESPN guys, like just kind of spread it. If we're having 1 Mount Rushmore, if we're having 2 Mount Rushmores, it would look a little bit different.
All right,
like obviously my 4, if we're doing ESPN, is probably identical to yours. Might be 1 or 2 other people I might consider on there, but my play-by-play guys, I'm assuming that's what you're getting into next.
Yeah, I have a play-by-play one.
Let me hear your play-by-play.
So obviously, Vin Scully, longtime Dodger guy.
Yep.
He was awesome.
He's on my honorable mention list.
I have Doc Emmerich on there for the hockey guys.
Okay.
He obviously still does it every now and then. I have Dickie V on there.
Dick V. Yep. He's my first or actually my second on my honorable mention.
Can be a little tough to listen to at times. He does get a little out there sometimes. The short doses with Dickie V these days. And then obviously Jim Nance. You
love Jim Nance.
Yeah, Jim Nance is awesome.
He deserves so much better.
He deserves so much better than that piece of shit in the fucking booth with him now.
Yeah. If anybody's wondering, Chris does not like Tony Romo one bit.
No. Let's talk about it. So, who is your least favorite?
A guy.
Who is your least favorite of all time?
That's Chris Collinsworth.
It's Tony Romo, and that's the only right answer. Everybody else is wrong.
I don't like Chris Collinsworth. I'm sorry.
I
would listen to Tony Romo. Tony Romo was absolutely terrible to listen to in the Super Bowl, though. I'm just gonna put that one out there.
Never again.
But I will lose. I'll die on this hill. I'd rather listen to Tony Romo than Chris Collinsworth any day of the week. I can't stand him.
I don't want to hear Tony Romo talk about nothing.
I don't want to hear either one of them talk about Patrick Mahomes.
I hate him.
Yeah.
I hated him as a player. I hate him worse. I don't know how somehow you can retire. All right, I hate you more.
Let me hear this. Who is your favorite right now play-by-play team?
Play-by-play. I really like Greg Olson.
He's my second one. I like Greg Olson, even though Greg Olson's going to fall to the second team now this year.
Yeah, probably with Brady coming in.
With Brady coming in.
Yeah, I'd probably have to go with Greg Olson and the guys.
I'm going to go the Monday night guys. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
I like Buck. I'm not a big Aikman fan.
I like them both. I think they work well together.
Aikman, I can tolerate Aikman as long as he's not calling a Cowboys game because he is a fucking homer.
He's a homer, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% a homer. But yeah, I mean, so we'll get back on this list here. So obviously, I told you I had an honorable mention. I didn't give you a full other statue. But so you had Dickie V, you had Vince Scully. So just a couple other guys on here. Lee Corso. I love Lee Corso.
Yeah,
he's iconic with the
I have recency
bias
with Corso. Yeah. I do not like Corso on game day anymore. That man looks rough.
Oh, he looks horrible.
But yeah,
Pat McAfee's taking over.
Pat McAfee's awesome.
I want to put him on this list.
I did too. I wanted to put him on the Rushmore.
It's a little early. But Lee Corso, Dick Vitale, Stuart Scott, Pat Summerall.
Okay.
Longtime partner with John Madden.
Yeah.
And then my last one here, Bob Shepard.
Okay.
Don't know if you know who that is or not.
I do, yeah.
Now batting for the Yankees, number 2, Derek Jeter.
He was a legend,
number 2
with the Yanks for sure.
Iconic, absolutely iconic.
Yeah, he's the Vince Scully with the Yanks. I'm gonna give an honorable mention to Kirk Herbstreit. I really like Kirk Herbstreit. He's a little young, obviously, to make the list here, but I really like him. He's obviously going to be in the NCCA game. Remember, guys, give it away a copy. Hit the subscribe button.
Subscribe.
But that'll wrap us up our Mount Rushmores of ESPN personalities or TV personalities, play-by-play guys, whatever the hell you want to call it. I gotta figure out what to title that video, but we'll see what it is. All right, we'll move on here now. For obviously the combine was last week. It's one of my favorite times of the year. We're gonna give our couple kind of combine standouts, and then obviously we're gonna give the guys who shit the bed there too. So I guess we'll combine in the zone and the red players.
Yeah.
They'll throw back to the in-season segments.
I think we both have a couple for each category here, so I mean, we can get on this for a little bit. I mean, there was a couple obvious winners and there's a couple obvious losers.
Yeah. I think I got 4 or 5 for 4 or 5 for both.
So my first one here, I'm going to go with a winner, but then I'm going to follow it up with a loser if you don't mind, because it kind of goes hand in hand.
We'll just go back and forth with both.
Yeah, my winner, one of my winners here in the combine is JJ McCarthy. Obviously, I think he threw very well. I think there was a couple throws that he had that I think he wishes he had back, and I think he admitted that in the interviews.
I just don't like his face.
Yeah,
I just want to punch him in the mouth.
Face.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
He has a douchebag look.
It looks like douchebag.
Yeah. But yeah, so JJ McCarthy, I think, definitely helped himself throwing the ball. His deep out route that he was throwing
crazy.
It was a very good ball. I think a lot of people aren't as high on J.J. McCarthy because he was not asked to do much at Michigan. Can he do it? Yes, he can. But did he have to?
Yeah, he didn't have to. I mean, Michigan obviously was the best running team in the league with Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum.
Yeah, I think he
NFL backs.
Yeah, so I think he definitely helped himself the way he threw the ball.
He didn't hurt himself, that's for sure.
No, and I think kind of tying in hand with that, like these people didn't even participate, but Jaden Daniels and Drake May, I think, are losers of the combine. And this is my reason why. I think if you're Drake May, if you're Jaden Daniels, you need to go out there and throw.
Dude, why?
Michael Penix was out there throwing. Did Michael Penix have to throw?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Michael Penix has the best arm in the combine.
It doesn't matter.
Michael Penix has the best arm coming out this year, hands down. Hands down has the best arm coming out. Do I think Michael Penix had to throw? No. Did he? Yes. Did J.J. McCarthy have to throw?
Yeah, but I mean, I'll fight you on this one. Like, what does Jaden Daniels and Drake May have to gain by throwing at the combine? The only thing they can do out there is go out there and blow an arm, or tear an arm, or
they can
elbow. They tear themselves up.
Jaden Daniels. I don't think anybody knows who the number 2 pick is yet.
It's either Drake May or Jaden Daniels. It's one of the two.
And I think if you're one of those two guys, go out there and compete. Prove that you're the number 2 guy.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't know. I don't like guys not throwing at the combine. I'm not even gonna get started on your fucking diva boy going number 1 to the Bears. I think it's the worst move in Bears history. I think Ryan Poles is gonna get fired for this one. I'm just calling this right now. I'm going up on the hill.
The more y'all keep hating on him, the more I like him.
Caleb Williams is a bust.
I don't think so.
I 100% agree.
I was on that train early, and now that everybody seems to be on that train, I'm off that train. Fuck it. He's great.
Nope. Not even fucking letting people see his medicals. Fuck you.
Did you hear why? I love why he said why.
Because only one team can draft him. Only one team
32
needs
teams don't have a chance to draft me.
Yeah.
Loved it. Love the fucking
He's a fucking clown. But yeah, I think J.J. McCarthy went out there and proved. And honestly, this is why I think Drake May and Jaden Daniels are losers here. One of them are going to go number 2, right? Williams is 1. Either May or Daniels are going number 2. I don't think New England is taking a quarterback at 3. I don't think. If a guy goes up to trade, they could have saw McCarthy's combine performance. What if people like McCarthy more than Jaden Daniels? I think McCarthy at least put himself in the conversation. For the 3rd quarterback off the board.
I don't. I
don't think it happens, but I think he's
conversation for the 4th quarterback. But
I think McCarthy locked himself as the 4th quarterback. I think he put himself in the conversation to be the 3rd quarterback.
I still like Nick's better.
It all depends on who is making the pick. We all know fit is the most important thing.
It is.
And obviously the Commanders and the Bears, the Broncos, the Raiders, they can all have different fucking opinions on what they like in a quarterback.
Yeah.
I think J.J. McCarthy at least put himself in the conversation at 3 with those guys not throwing. If you're Jaden Daniels, I think you need to go out there and prove that you can throw accurately. But in the same sense, I can see it on the same sense too. Obviously a guy like Caleb Williams isn't going to go out there and throw because he doesn't want to be these guys don't want to be compared to anybody else.
I don't even think it's
side by side comparison.
I don't think it's that, and I think a big part of this too is we got to kind of switch the way we think about the combine as well, because obviously before the NIL, guys were coming in here broke as fuck trying to make that money. I mean, Caleb Williams made $12 million last year. It's I already got some bread.
Right.
I'm all right. I don't need to go out here and show you guys some shit when I already know where I'm going. Same with I think the floor for all 3 of those guys is top 5. I don't think there's a way in hell to get out of the top 5. Yeah. Even if New England doesn't take a quarterback, somebody's coming to 4 or 5 for one of them, if not both of them. I do think JJ had a good week, played himself into probably the number 4 quarterback. Yeah. I still personally like Nix over him.
I think it all depends on the fit. I know you love Nix to Denver.
I do.
I
like Nix with Sean Payton. I just think
it's all about the fit. I think either one of them will be happy to go there and learn from Sean Payton. But obviously, J.J. McCarthy, I think, is a winner of mine. I believe that Jaden Daniels and Drake May might one of them might not go 3. It very well could be. There could be 1, 2, and 3. Not positions. I'm talking about quarterbacks taken off the board. I think they're probably the first 3 quarterbacks, but McCarthy at least put himself in the conversation.
I don't think he's in the conversation.
Now, and
he had a good week, but I think he put him in the 4 range. But I don't the top three. I think were.
And I also mentioned this other guy too. Michael Penix Jr. threw very well as well. Obviously, everybody knew Michael Penix Jr. was going to throw well. He throws well, and he went through the medicals.
I think that was the biggest thing.
He proved to these guys like his medicals are good. Yeah. His medicals are fine. He's fine. I think Michael Penix Jr. played himself into a first-round pick. I think there might have been talks where he might have slid. I think that's all washed now because of the obviously him in the combine. I think he pretty much squashed all that. I think he's a first-round pick no matter what.
I still think there's 6 first-round quarterbacks. Yeah, it's a quarterback-needy league, and I see a lot of people saying...
I think Nix is the one that falls if any of them fall.
I don't know if really any of them... None of them are getting out in the first round for me.
I think Nix, they fall... I think there's a chance Nix is the 6th one taken.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't see there's no way in hell these quarterbacks, if you have a high second-round grade, just because of positional need or positional value, you're taking that guy in the first round. You're going to trade back up into the first round to get that 5th-year option because it is so fucking valuable, especially at the quarterback price.
And if Nix does fall to the second half of the first round, he's going in the first round.
He's going in the first round. There's 6 quarterbacks going in the first round.
Yeah.
Take it to fucking Vegas. I don't give a shit. Yeah. I'll bet a house on it.
So New England
quarterbacks in the first round.
New England has the 3rd pick in the second round. Are they still picking?
They pick 34. They have the 2nd pick.
They have the 2nd pick. Okay, so if New England passes on...
Yeah, if they take Marvin Harrison Jr. and one of them falls, they're 100% trading into
I can
30,
see that.
31, 32, all those guys.
But if I see that, I think Nix is the last one. I think Nix is the guy somebody trades up for in the last...
I think Penix is still the last one.
You think?
I do.
You don't think Nix falls past Denver?
I wouldn't be shocked if Denver came up for McCarthy.
But I think that's what's going to happen.
Would take Nix over McCarthy in that system. But no, I mean...
I like Nix.
Even if they don't, I think Penix is viewed in the NFL circle as the number 6 guy.
Yeah. If I had my choice on quarterback, I want Drake May all day long.
I want Jake Daniels.
I want Drake May. I know Denver's not getting up to get Drake May because I think Drake May's the number 2 guy.
Yeah, he goes... yeah. I don't know. Cliff, it wouldn't shock me if
Kingsbury wants Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
If you think if New England's picking 3 and Drake May's on the board, you think Drake May goes to New England?
I don't know, man. I've struggled with this a lot. I've struggled with it a lot. I don't know.
I'm really curious to see what New England's going to do. But, yeah, so...
I'm starting to lean more that they're going to go Marvin Harrison and go to a vet market and maybe come back up into the first round for one of them that falls.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's kind of what I'm leaning towards, but they're a fucking enigma.
Yeah, I can see it. I love Michael Penix there. I think Michael Penix, Bo Nix are both good fits there.
Yeah, I mean, I like Nix. I like the way he operates an offense.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's going off. Two of my winners, obviously McCarthy and Penix Jr. are winners, and I had Daniels and Drake May as losers.
All right,
and I think me and you are both going to agree on one combine winner. It's probably going to be the one.
That's probably my first one. So
yeah. Let's just get that one off the board.
My first one was Max Melton.
Oh, okay. I didn't put him on there, but we obviously
he's an early day 2 pick now.
Yeah,
like he
ran played himself in probably top 7, top 6 corners.
Yeah, probably.
He's probably the 6th corner off. 6th corner gone.
Yeah, 6 probably.
I mean, both Bama guys: Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean,
Wiggins.
He's probably 6, right?
He's probably 6, 7.
He had a great combine.
Oh, yeah, he had a great combine. He ran well. I think the league kind of missing on his brother a little bit last year helps him.
Yeah.
So obviously his brother had a good year with the Packers, but wasn't as highly drafted as he should have been. So I think Max Melton was mine. Watching that combine, I was like, wow, he checked off a lot of boxes for me. He ran really well, looked really well in the drills. I think the brother line does help his storyline. And then for me, going back to that quarterback world, I thought Sam Hartman looked like straight dog shit.
Does everybody remember Sam Hartman from QB1?
I did not. I've not seen
QB1. That was a good show.
I can't.
We had Justin Fields was on there. I think Justin Fields was that season that Hartman was on.
I'm not sure on the seasons that I haven't seen.
But Spencer Rattler was on there. Justin Fields was on there. Spencer Rattler was another one I thought had a pretty good day.
Yeah, he's definitely been flying up board since the Senior Bowl.
I think he's a day 2 pick now. He's probably a third-round pick.
Taking a third-round pick on him.
100%.
Yeah, I could see that.
100%. A team that's maybe just looking to develop a guy. Obviously, he can be developed. He was what? He was a top 5 recruit coming out of high school.
Yeah, I mean, when he first broke out there, like everybody was talking about him being the next number 1 overall pick. Number 1 overall pick.
He was a lock at a number 1 overall pick for last year's draft.
Yeah,
but a guy, I don't know if any of you guys know who this guy is, but obviously a guy named Caleb Williams comes to town and pretty much runs him out of town.
Yeah, literally ran him out of town. Yeah. They both ran out of town.
And then he ends up going to South Carolina and actually put up some decent numbers in South Carolina.
He played decent at South Carolina. South Carolina obviously plays in the SEC, and they're not really an SEC roster, in my opinion. So
I think Spencer Rattler could be a good NFL quarterback.
I do too. Yeah, I'm not out on him.
And honestly, and this is going to be a hot take, and this is going to piss you off. I think Spencer Rattler has a better chance of being a NFL quarterback than Caleb Williams does.
Yeah, no, you're wrong.
Caleb Williams is going to get the opportunities right away, but I think Spencer Rattler, all in all, has a better career.
You're wrong.
Hot take. I could be completely wrong about that. And Caleb Williams could be a fucking future Hall of Fame.
If Caleb Williams hit, he's the greatest prospect we've
It's not going to. I'm staying on that hill. I'm sorry.
He's boom or bust, but I mean, a lot of the shit that's came out with Caleb has been bullshit and not really real reports, and I think that's a big part of it.
Carl.
I think a lot of it, honestly, is people are trying to drive him down the board,
and
it's not going to work. It's that time of the year where there's fucking
people are going to come out with anything.
There's smear campaigns trying to get guys to drop.
Every year that happens.
It happens.
Remember when Andrew Luck was drafted? There were those people that thought Robert Griffin III should be the first pick.
Yeah, it happens.
Obviously not.
Yeah, it happens every year.
The people, Trevor Lawrence is pick number 1. People thought Zach Wilson should have been number 1.
Zach Wilson's terrible.
Yeah. There you go. If you want to, so you do your loser yet?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, my loser. Oh no, I didn't. Yeah. I did. Sam Hartman was.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got off that QB1 conversation.
Yeah, he looked like straight shit. Couldn't complete a pass.
So combine winner. I'm gonna go same neighborhood of what you went. I'm gonna go Quinyon Mitchell. I think Quinyon Mitchell ran really well, but I think his on-the-field drills were a lot better than what he ran.
He's not on mine because
I think you expected him.
Yeah. I literally have a note on him as expected.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think he ran slower than he should have.
I did think he'd run faster. I mean, he ran fucking 4.33. It's not like he ran slow.
I mean, Nate Wiggins ran a 4.29, which I was very surprised about. I didn't think Nate Wiggins was going.
Yeah, I thought those numbers would be inverted. I thought Quinyon Mitchell would run sub. He ran. Wiggins ran 4.28.
4.28
official. It was 4.29 unofficial.
Yeah.
I thought those numbers would be inverted. I thought Quinyon Mitchell would run sub 4.3 and Wiggins would run low 4.3.
I do think with his on the field drills though, I think Quinyon Mitchell should be the first corner taken.
I wouldn't be surprised if Quinyon Mitchell at his pro day runs sub 4.3 though.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think obviously he wins. His on the field drills.
He's good.
Were good. Well, he had a high vertical too, didn't he?
Yes.
Like a 40.5 vertical or something.
I can get you the exact number, but yeah, he jumps well. He's an athlete.
Yeah. And then staying. So obviously, Quinyon Mitchell did really well there in the combine. Staying in the defensive back neighborhood for losers. I think me and you can agree with this one. Who this is going to be? You want to take a guess who it is?
Is it Kalen King?
It is Kalen King.
Kalen King is my number 2. So yeah, Quinyon Mitchell jumped 38.
38. Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, Kalen King. I don't think anybody hurt themselves more in the draft.
He's not a corner.
No, he's proven that. I mean, he was slow.
4.67.
He did not look good on the field. Kalen King, at the beginning of this season, before the college football season started, you can pencil him in as a first-round pick.
His 2022 tape is good.
Yeah, if Kalen King could have came out last year, he would have been a first-round pick.
But my question on that, too, was his tape good because he had Joe Poyer over there?
Probably.
Was he looking good on number 2s? He's not a number 1.
And he wasn't even the best defensive back on his team at the combine this week.
No,
Daquan Hardy had a hell of a day.
Yeah, speaking of verticals, what did he jump on the vertical?
40, through the roof.
42.5 or something like that.
Yeah,
it was.
And he ran fast.
Yeah, 42.5. Daquan Hardy jumped.
Yeah, he ran really fast. I think he ran. Did he run sub 4.3, or is he low 4.3s?
Ran really well. Wasn't sub 4.3. No, the only one who ran sub 4.3 was Wiggs.
Wiggs.
He ran 4.38.
4.38.
Which was the
so sub 4.4s.
1, 2, 3, 4, fifth fastest.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I think he goes
Better
higher
athlete.
than his teammate now. Yeah.
At least Tess is a better athlete.
Yep. So Kalen King, I think Kalen King is probably the biggest loser of the draft. I mean, I was kind of going a hot take on the combine. I was kind of going a hot take with my first group of Jaden Daniels and Drake May, just because I really I wanted to see him throw. But yeah, I think Kalen King hurt himself more than anybody in the draft.
Yeah, I don't think you got to learn how to play safety, and I don't think he can play safety. So
I think he's out of the league in 3 years.
Yeah, he hurt himself for sure. I mean, somebody will take a chance on him. You know,
100%.
Yeah, I don't think he's a day 2 guy now.
No,
I think he's a day 3 guy.
He's an early day 3 guy, 4th, 5th round.
Who was your number 2 winner on that one?
Quinyon Mitchell.
Okay, all right. For me, obviously, we talked about him a little bit earlier, but Xavier Worthy.
That's who I thought you were going to say the last round.
Yeah, Xavier Worthy obviously breaking the record. I think he ran himself into a day 1 pick.
Yeah. His floor is Kansas City at 32.
Yeah, I don't think the Chiefs pass on him.
No.
Kind of reminds me of Tyreek Hill.
Even though I think the Chiefs should go with a big guy like A.D. Mitchell or Keon Coleman.
I don't know, man.
But
offense looked real good when Tyreek Hill was there.
I think Xavier Worthy might crack the top 20.
If
somebody wants a receiver,
I mean, he did put himself in the makings for maybe wide receiver 4.
Yeah,
I still think it's Brian Thomas, but
people remember when John Ross went 12?
Yeah,
way higher than anybody thought he was going to go. Dude, you can't teach speed.
I don't like the comparison just because Xavier Worthy is a better receiver.
He's definitely a better receiver.
Yeah, like he's a good. The only question mark with Xavier Worthy is he's only 166, 67 pounds. He's real thin guy, but he can move. He's going to be a great returner. Speaking of great returner, NFL looking to change the rule, and that might be a good thing.
Yeah,
so it might add some value to him there as well if it does get approved.
I think kind of going off the Xavier Worthy having a good combine. I think Texas wide receivers had a good combine.
Texas had a good combine.
Yeah, I mean A.D. Mitchell ran a 4.35. I mean that's a good time. And A.D. Mitchell's a big guy. He's go up and get it. Like A.D. Mitchell, I love A.D. Mitchell. A.D. Mitchell to the Chiefs. I love that. Because I think he's there at 32 when the Chiefs are going to get somebody. I think Xavier Worthy cracks the top 20 just because of the way he ran.
Yeah.
Somebody runs that fast, you're not going to not go get him.
It's tough to teach speed for sure. Yeah. I think Texas as a whole had a really good combine.
Yeah.
My second loser was Kalen King, but I'll give you my third one then. My only third one here was actually a guy from Texas. I think it was the only guy from Texas that, in my opinion, didn't do as I expected. Not that he had a bad combine. This is probably me splitting hairs a little bit. Was Javonte Sanders, the tight end?
The Texas tight end.
Yeah, he didn't wow me. He didn't run all that great. He ran 4.69. I thought he was going to run faster. Shuttle was he was real slow in the shuttle. It was 4.32 in the shuttle. Both were kind of average to below average in this class, and that was kind of the biggest plus for him was. Everybody was saying he was a physical freak and a freak athlete. I still don't think it impacts his draft stock that much. Yeah. The tape is really good on him. He looks really good with the ball. I was just a little disappointed with him. I thought he would be more impressive.
Yeah. I think he definitely played himself probably the tight end 3.
I still think he's 2.
I think Ben Sinnott might have played himself a little higher.
I like Sinnott.
Yeah. Obviously, I think we all know who number 1 is.
Tip Ryman.
Yeah, Tip Ryman.
I love Tip Ryman.
Tip Ryman.
That guy is a
number 1 tight end off the board.
Only one that bench pressed.
Yep. Really? I didn't even notice that.
The only one that had a bench press score. Let's put it that way.
Huh.
And he put 28 up.
I don't think Brock Bowers did anything, did he?
No. Just talked.
Yeah.
Just interviewed.
All right. So that's yours there. So that's it for my individual combine winners. We pretty much touched on everybody else, but I'll give you some funny ones here. So combine winner, in my opinion, anyone needing an offensive player.
Yeah.
If you have an offensive need on your team,
especially receivers, offensive line's really
running backs had a good combine.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth.
There's not a bell cow. We were talking about this earlier. Not a bell cow guy, but there's a lot of depth.
There's a lot of depth.
A lot of depth. You're going to find a lot of value in these running backs. Quarterbacks, like there's going to potentially be 6 first-round quarterbacks, and you're going to see a decent amount of day 2 quarterbacks. Michael Pratt, Spencer Rattler, Joe Milton. Joe Milton had a fucking cannon for an arm.
He's got a big arm. His mechanics were a little slow for me. But
Joe Milton is going to be a project for somebody, but that dude has an arm better than anybody in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like,
he's got a big time arm.
He's up there with the Mahomes and Allen arm. I mean, he threw the ball 68 miles an hour. Spencer Rattler looked like a good project. Michael Pratt looks like a good project. Honestly, one of the only quarterbacks I think that didn't have a good day was Sam Hartman. I think every other... Devin Leary looked pretty decent.
Yeah, that's the kid from Western Kentucky, Austin Reed.
Yeah,
he looked decent.
Yeah, they all looked. There wasn't a lot of quarterbacks that looked decent. So, kind of going off of that into a combine loser of mine, our least favorite people on this show, the Carolina Panthers, and I'm going to tell you why they were a combine loser of mine.
Fuck Dave Tepper.
Fuck Dave Tepper. Fuck Dave Tepper. I mean, that's obviously number one. But you took Bryce Young last year at number 1. And gave up your first-round pick for this year. The Panthers have to be pissed off looking at this group of quarterbacks this year.
True.
Looking at C.J. Stroud, looking at Anthony Richardson, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix. All these guys, I think are going to be better than Bryce Young. And I think Bryce Young is a fit problem and...
I don't think he's a fit problem.
Coaching issue, an ownership issue. I think it's just an organizational issue there.
Yeah, I don't think anybody had success. Will or would have had success in Carolina. There's the roster is not good.
Yeah,
the offensive line is a problem. If you have no time to throw and you're smacking a mouth every time, I don't give a shit if Peyton Manning would show.
They did take a left tackle. Fucking 5th or 6th overall?
Icky, yeah.
Yeah. Like, come on, you shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, but they were bad. I mean, I will agree with that.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny. I'm watching these quarterbacks.
Their first pick this year, though.
Who's that?
Carolina.
Oh, to get some picks.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a pick that does historically move. Obviously, you get the end of day 1.
What, 33?
33 does. It is pretty.
Well, at the end of day 1, you got people calling.
Like, there's somebody you have all day to think on it. Yep. Yeah. I do think they probably moved that for a couple of picks.
You're sitting at 40, 41, and you're like, oh, there's a guy we didn't think was falling out of the first round. Yeah.
So I do think they end up moving that first pick. But I had a couple more guys that I wanted to shout out here for standouts. I got Braden Fisk, the D tackle. I think he played well. I think he's a little older, a little veteran guy. This is a class that just generally is older because of the COVID year. So you're getting a little more 24, 25-year-old guys coming out this year. I thought Cooper Beebe looked really good, the guard from Kansas State. I think he's a day 2 guy now, I think. Yeah. And one guy that I wanted to see more of, and unfortunately he got hurt, was Tyler Owens. I think he's a physical freak. He came 1 inch from breaking the broad jump record. Yeah. And then obviously got hurt in the 40, which I expected him to run pretty well in the 40. So I did want to see a little more out of him, but obviously the broad jump, that translate to explosion. So, I mean, he dropped 12.2 in the broad jump. The only one jump over 12 foot this year. The record's 12.3. So, shout out to him for obviously, putting a pretty fucking impressive number up there. And then for me, I had one more negative guy here. It was Bucky Irving. I thought he, for being a smaller back, he didn't look real explosive, didn't test well. He ran pretty shitty. The vertical was only 29.5, which I don't like. I mean, he's a smaller guy, but
I think with the group of rookie running backs, he's definitely going to fall himself.
Yeah, he hurt himself.
Yeah, bad.
He hurt himself pretty decent.
Because there was a lot of running backs that had good days.
Yeah,
like you got, and there's a couple guys like Braylon Allen didn't run, but like he still looked good on the field drills. Yeah, kid from Wisconsin,
he's a bigger back.
Yeah,
and obviously Bucky, with being a smaller back, you need to show that explosion.
Yeah,
and the speed really wasn't the best. So
yeah. I had one more loser on mine, Cameron Kitchens. I think he definitely showed he's not the best safety in the draft. Tyler Dubin 100% has that arm.
Didn't run real well. We're going at 4.65.
Yeah.
Broad jump was only 9.2, which shocked me.
Yeah.
He does. I do think he has good hips.
Yeah.
I do have that.
I think we talked about this earlier in the show. I think the crop of safeties available in free agency, I think that's definitely going to hurt Kitchens.
I do too. I do think Tyler Nubin ran away with safety one.
And if somebody wants a safety in the draft and wants to get him, I mean, Obviously, they might pick him a little bit earlier because if they have a need for it. But
I still think he goes.
Tyler Nubin's going to be on a rookie deal, so it's a team friendly deal.
Yeah.
Versus paying.
I don't know if either one of them go in the first. Nubin would be the only one that can go in the first, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Kitchens, I think, is an early day. He's still probably a top 45 guy, top 50 probably.
Kitchens is probably mid third round. If I had to put him somewhere,
I still think Kitchens goes early day too. I think he goes in the second round. I still think he's a second round guy. I honestly can believe I would probably put money on them both being second round guys.
Yeah.
Newman would probably be in the top 40, and I don't think Kitchens would be far behind him just because there is really not a ton behind him. Although some of the guys did look decent. Guys I did, I wrote down here a little bit. Nehemiah Prickett, I thought he had a pretty good day. And Josh Newton, a kid out of TCU, I think he had a pretty decent day too in the secondary. Kalen Bullock and Javon Bullard, I think they had solid, decent days.
Yeah.
And I do want to see Sayani Vakai. I want to see him go back to running back.
Yeah.
He's going to go. He could get drafted. That's a guy who's going to do whatever the hell.
Whatever you need him to do.
Yeah. So yeah. I do like him. I think he's a better running back than safety, but runs hard.
Just real quick, another couple guys I like on there. You said Texas had a good day overall. Their defensive tackles had a damn good day too.
Devondre Sweat had a great day, but not showing up at 4 bills.
Yeah.
I really thought the dude was going to weigh 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like 360 something like that.
Yeah, but he run a 5'2"?
He moved
5'2".
Yeah, he moves
5'2", 4".
Moves
for a man that
big
size.
Guy, yeah.
I mean, how Jordan Davis ran what, a 4? Jordan Davis is probably like a 4'8" or 4'9" at 350 pounds.
Yeah, Jordan Davis is a freak.
Yeah,
for sure.
Devondre Sweat's a run stuffer.
Yeah, he is.
He's going to be a guy that's going to be an early second round pick.
The only question with him is how many snaps can you get at him at the NFL level?
Yeah. That's always hard with those big like Albert Hainsworth type guys, Vince Wilfork type guys.
Yeah, they really are just designed.
They're doing one thing only.
Yeah. He can rust the passer somewhat, but it's tough at that side. I think you might have seen more of that too at Texas. I think they didn't have Byron Murphy, who was more the pass rush interior guy. But yeah, no, Texas had a great day at the combine, which I'm still salty about. So
yeah, I mean the combine was awesome this year. There was a lot of guys that helped themselves. I think there were a lot more guys that helped themselves than hurt themselves. There wasn't a lot of guys that really hurt themselves.
I mean, the combine, I don't know how much you can really hurt yourself at the combine outside of Kalen King. You fucked up.
Yeah,
you'd have been better off not showing up. One moment I did love too was it Ben Sinnott? And every time he touched the ball, his family were screaming and yelling for him. I loved it.
I think so. I didn't get to watch the tight ends. I watched highlights.
Every time he did any drill or anything like that, you could hear him.
Yeah,
woo!
That's funny.
I loved it.
You gotta love it. That's what I mean.
I love letting people in there.
Yeah,
I love that. Where it didn't used to be a closed event where scouts only. So now they're letting guys in. I think there's like 10,000 fans there pretty much all weekend. So bucket list item going there. Check that
out. We should go there next year.
Let's get this shit to take off to where we can go to the Senior Bowl and there next year. We want to travel.
Let's get it. I want to bring something up here too. NFL, make the right decision. Keep the scouting combine in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I don't think it goes anywhere.
Yeah,
it's just a perfect fit.
Yeah, it's great.
And
it's a good location for everybody.
You ever been to Indianapolis?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like everything is kind of like right down there. Not the greatest city in the world, but I mean everything is right there. The stadium's pretty cool. I've been to the stadium a couple times, and I was out there last summer.
I did an Annie Ann's store opening there in Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah?
Downtown Indianapolis. Yep.
Yeah, I caught the Duke National Championship game there back there. What's 2010?
Bucket list of mine: draft, combine. Want to go?
Yeah.
Super Bowl, draft, combine, Super Bowl.
Yeah, we should have went to Vegas.
Yeah, we should have.
Missed opportunity.
We a little out of our price point.
yeah. Let's get this shit to take off so we can travel around. I really want to go to the Senior Bowl too, because the Senior Bowl, anybody really can get in that and talk to the players. I think that would be freaking awesome. And I've never been to Mobile, so.
Yeah, well, fuck it, let's go.
Got good. That'll wrap up our combine recap there. Obviously, we're getting down here, getting to the draft. Obviously, that's coming up end of May, or I'm sorry, not end of May, end of April. So that'll be exciting times for us. Let's move on to this kind of start of NFL free agency here. The franchise tag deadline has come and gone now. So obviously, let's go through the guys who got tagged, and then maybe guys who should have or didn't. obviously Josh Allen with the Jaguars gets a tag there, 1 year, $24 million on that.
That one surprised me. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought that was one of the ones I didn't think was going to happen, but
I'm not surprised with that one there. I don't think
pass rushers are a dime a dozen.
Yeah, elite pass rushers aren't though. It's a premium position nowadays.
I didn't think they were going to do that, but
I mean the only other option would have been Calvin Ridley, but I don't think I would have been shocked if they didn't tag him.
Yeah.
Your Carolina Panthers now making you a fan of those, so get rid of your Broncos shit, buddy.
Yeah.
They did tag Brian Burns.
Another one that surprises me.
$24 million on that too. It doesn't surprise me, but
Brian Burns has to want out of there.
He has to.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to do does he get traded? Do they tag him to trade him? I know the Rams offered him a couple last year, wasn't it? 2 years ago. So we'll see if he ends up signing or an extension there. And
he's probably one of the most sought after trade targets in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Guys that people want, but the teams aren't really ready to do anything with yet. Besides Patrick
so far
Surtain.
away, so I mean I understand doing it. You can't let him walk out of the building for nothing.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't sign and you end up trading him, you're going to get good value back for him. One surprised me a little bit was New England. Obviously they used the transition tag on Kyle Duggar. I like Duggar. I thought they would use it on Michael Olano because their offensive line is dog shit without Michael Olano.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least get Duggar back. I mean, I do like Duggar. I think both their safeties are free agents, so I mean, at least get one of them back. Adrian Phillips' office is gone this year too, so that one kind of surprised me a little bit.
Yeah. Antoine Winfield. I saw that one coming.
Yeah, Antoine. There's no chance Antoine Winfield got out there. There was there was no chance T. Higgins got out of the building with that one too. So he got a $21.8 million.
Yeah. One that surprised me was Justin Madubuike. I didn't think they were going to
waste
it on that.
Early, I didn't think they were going to.
Yeah.
And then as it went on, it did kind of look like it was leaning towards that.
Yeah.
I do think they get a long-term deal done with him.
One of the first ones that cracked was T. Higgins, pretty much right away.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I mean, obviously, you have a franchise quarterback. You got to keep his weapons intact.
Yeah, there was no chance.
There was rumors there for a little bit. T. Higgins might sign somewhere else, but I mean, Cincinnati obviously values him and doesn't want to let him go.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any chance in hell that he got out. Just like Michael Pittman, I didn't think there was any chance in hell that they weren't getting tagged.
And Shane Steichen spoke very highly of Michael Pittman.
Yeah, Pittman's
he was
good.
on GMF.
Yeah,
GMFB,
good, so.
yeah.
It does kind of hurt, though, because T. Higgins did sign that early. He does lose out on a little bit of money. Pittman tagged for a little bit more. It was like $160,000 more or something like that. L'Jarius Sneed getting the tag over Chris Jones.
Probably getting traded, right?
Probably getting traded, but
that has to make you confident that you're going to sign Chris Jones. Chris Jones pretty much said he's not going anywhere.
He did, but money talks.
Yeah,
you let him hit the market, he's going to be. Somebody might throw
Somebody will
stupid
throw a
money at him.
shit ton of money at him. So Miami lets Christian Wilkins walk, which is a surprising one that I didn't.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I wanted to talk about.
If you're Miami, Miami likes to spend money. I mean, that's not really. They like to spend money. If you're Miami, I could see Miami throwing $20-25 million a year at him.
But if they weren't going to pay Wilkins, why would they pay Jones?
Because I don't know.
Christian Wilkins is almost a very similar player and a hell of a lot younger.
Miami likes to do shit.
I don't know. I was shocked that Wilkins didn't get tagged. He's really the only D tackle or interior rusher out of that class, which had a really, really good class that didn't get a second contract.
Christian Wilkins is going to get paid.
He's going to get paid.
He is one of the best defensive tackles in football.
Yeah.
He can do it all. He can pass rush. He can stuff the run, and he's a hell of a personality.
Yeah,
he's probably a great locker room guy.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest shock for me outside of Awanu. But I mean, Wilkins is a better player than Awanu. Yeah. Xavier McKinney didn't get tagged either. Saquon obviously didn't get the second tag.
I knew Saquon.
I didn't figure Saquon would, but they didn't tag anybody. Let McKinney walk as well. So we'll see. I mean, obviously they still could bring some of these cats back in free agency, but it does give us a clearer picture of the free agent market now. Obviously, I think the biggest domino in free agency is Kirk.
Yeah, 100%. Kirk Cousins, I think everybody has him ranked as the number one free agent. I think once Kirk Cousins falls, we'll have a better idea. And you said this earlier in the show. Once Kirk Cousins falls, we'll have a better idea of what's happening.
Yeah, that's like the first domino. It's
Justin Fields, I think, is the second domino. Obviously, he needs to be traded, and I think he'll be traded this upcoming week. Hopefully.
I wouldn't be shocked if they don't trade Fields until the draft.
I don't know though, because I mean, if you're looking for Justin Fields, like if you're Atlanta and you're trying to get Justin Fields, and Kirk Cousins stays with Minnesota,
I don't think there's any way in hell.
Well, I'm just saying, hypothetically, or if you're, I don't know, if just say Kirk Cousins signs with Atlanta, and you're looking and you're another team looking to get Justin Fields, like, can you afford to really wait up until the draft? Because like you got to do your homework on a rookie.
You do.
You gotta start looking at trading up to get a rookie now at this point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think NFL execs kind of explore every option out there as it is.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked to not see Fields moved until either closer to the draft, maybe the day of the draft, or day before or whatever. I mean,
I think Chicago's doing right by him too. I think Chicago's kind of let him choose. Give him an idea where he wants to go.
I don't really know how much the market is on him.
On Fields?
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, the problem is you're going to have to pay him.
Yeah, that's a big thing. You're going to get 1 year of him, and then you're going to have to.
And right now, like if I'm picking a quarterback in the draft, I'd much rather have McCarthy or Bo Nix than Justin Fields.
I like Fields. I think he can.
I like Fields too, but I like Bo Nix on a rookie contract more than I like Justin Fields $40 million a year, because Justin Fields hasn't earned. I mean, obviously he's had a bad team. He hasn't really had a fair shot, but he's going to demand big money. And has he earned it?
It's just a position demands it.
Yeah. But has he earned it? Like, do you feel comfortable, especially if you're a team in a cap situation like Denver? Like, are you going to want, like, if you're the Saints, if you're Denver?
I don't think the Saints are in a quarterback market. They restructured. No, they restructured Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr.
Not even somebody, maybe a second rounder.
I don't see the Saints being in the quarterback market this year. Maybe next year, but I think they're going to commit to Derek Carr for 2.
And what if Kirk Cousins signs with Atlanta, Minnesota, maybe Justin Fields? You're going to pay Kirk Cousins anyway. That's probably a team that makes the most sense.
I don't know. I mean,
Kevin O'Connell. I'd like to see Kevin O'Connell.
I thought Justin Fields to the Falcons made so much fucking sense.
It does.
It
still makes sense.
Like it's going to happen.
Kirk Cousins
makes
a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. Maybe not so for the long time future, but you get Kirk on 3 years.
Yeah, I can see Minnesota and Atlanta having Kirk Cousins and Justin Fields. I just don't know which direction they're going to go.
I don't think Kirk goes back to Minnesota. I don't.
You don't think so?
I think that's so.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of Atlanta. He's going to have his pick where he wants to go, and obviously the best situation is Atlanta.
Yeah.
Vegas, I could see Vegas being maybe in on him. I don't see him going to an outdoor team. So I mean, obviously New England's out on him.
Who, Cousins? It says
Cousins. Yeah. I don't see Kirk Cousins going to a team that plays outdoor.
Yeah.
That was part of the reason why he went to Minnesota. They play in a dome. Obviously, Atlanta plays in a dome.
I think Cousins' only 2 fits are Atlanta and Minnesota. That's my.
I don't think he goes back to Minnesota. I think
Atlanta,
Minnesota.
Justin Fields could be. I think if Justin Fields, I can see Atlanta. I can see Minnesota. I can see Vegas.
I think New England may be a sneaky pick for Fields.
You think?
I do.
And we talked about this multiple times already today. We don't know what New England's going to do.
New England's an enigma.
No, we have no idea.
Tough.
Being
a New England fan, it's tough on me because I just don't have any.
Did they hire a GM?
No, they said.
So who's making the moves?
I don't know. They said they're probably not going to.
Gerard Mayo just choosing who he wants to draft?
I guess. I don't know.
All right, I'm in.
Tyrann Mathieu just signed a 2-year extension here,
too.
Yeah,
he did that earlier today.
Yeah, a little bit earlier, yeah. We just seen it. But all right, let's get into our top 10 tackles here. If I can get back to the right. There we go. All right, we'll go 10-1 as normal. So our top 10 tackles that we projected the next level here. You want to start or do you want me to start?
I'll let you start.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll start.
I'll start. I can start. Don't matter, man.
I'll start. 1 second here.
All right, who's your 10?
So my 10, I have Kingsley Suamataya. I think that's how you say it.
That is how you say it, and that's why my reaction was, because I don't want to butcher the first name.
Is that what it was?
Yes, yeah.
Wait, you were worried about butchering the first name?
Yeah.
What the fuck's hard about Kingsley?
The first.
Okay. I was gonna say you're gonna butcher Kingsley over Suamataya.
Yeah, no, Suamataya, he's my 10 as well.
Yeah. I like him. I think he has, and I had a lot of fun doing this list because I think all 10 of these guys are future NFL starters and good starters. There's a couple guys off the list that I also think could fall in that category. Now, problem is some of the guys off the list could eventually play guard. And obviously we talked about this earlier. We left Graham Barton off the list. Think Graham Barton is he's a center for a very long time. I think he's a very good center in the league. But here, Suamataya, 6'5", 326. He's a good player. He looked pretty good in the Senior Bowl. He was on Feldman's freak list, saying that he hit 21.5 miles an hour last year. And he's a big dude. I mean, that's pretty impressive for a big dude.
Yeah.
He's very balanced, has good arm length, great hand size. He has good burst and quickness at the line.
10 and 3 against hands.
Yeah,
big,
massive
big
fucking
hands.
paws. But he has very good burst. He's good. He's good in pass protection. Has quick strategic hands. Couple other notes I have on here. He has good lateral mobility. His footwork's very good. Like I said, he has good balance. So that's, obviously something you want in a left tackle. And he's capable of delivering the explosive blocks when needed. Couple weaknesses I have here on him. Sometimes he shows a tendency for like an over-aggression. Kind of goes into a couple missed blocks here.
I have a note here. He's overly aggressive at times. Will go for the kill shot and miss.
Yep. I think sometimes he's a little upright. He stands a little tall in his stand. He's a big dude. I think he needs to kind of get his pad level a little lower, kind of get that center of gravity a little lower. And his hand placement sometimes isn't the greatest. He's outside a lot. Got to be inside. So I think sometimes his hand placement could screw him over a little bit. So I think he needs to improve in the run game.
Yeah, he's definitely raw in the run game.
Yeah, I think he's a great for the 10th best left tackle in the draft. I think he's a very, very good pass blocker.
I do
very
too.
good pass blocker.
Yeah.
He lunges a little too much too, so I think that's sinking his hips, kind of staying back during his blocks. I think is something he really needs to work on. He's raw. He's raw. So
he's just maybe a smart guy too.
Yeah.
BYU is a pretty decent academic. He's young too. He was a redshirt sophomore, so
yeah,
he's not a finished product by any means. He's my number 10 as well. It's a guy who did play both left and right tackle in college. He played 10 at left tackle, 12 at right tackle. So he's got 22 starts under his belt. PFF, he's got a 66.4 overall. His pass rush grade is an 83.4. So he's very, very good in the pass rush. Run game, he struggled a little bit at 52.9. What did he run? 5.04 in the 40.
Yeah.
So he ran pretty well. His 10-yard split was 1.74, so that's pretty solid.
Yep.
Broad jumped the same number that Cameron Kitchens did.
It's kind of crazy.
9.2. Yeah. 31 in the bench press at the combine.
And he's 326 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big dude. He's obviously 6'5", big old hands. He's got an 82.5-inch wingspan, so got big arms. He's got obviously a pro build. He's a big dude. Good arm length, big hands. He's got good burst and quickness. He climbs to the second level pretty well. He does have solid range, so he can recover. He's got pretty good feet work. He does anchor pretty decent. When he keeps his hands inside, they're very good. It's just he's got to get a little bit more consistent of getting them inside. And obviously, there's some bloodlines there too as well. He's cousins with the Swell. Yeah, what the fuck's the name? Pinelli, Sewell.
Sewell.
Yeah, can't
Sewell.
say his name. Sewell, yeah. And Noah. So they're obviously both in the league. So there's some bloodlines there. Cons, you hit them all the ones I have. Where he does play a little upright. He's a little inconsistent with pre-snaps. I think it's something he needs to get better of. And he's overly aggressive.
I mean, look, he's 21 years old. Like, he's young. He hasn't played a whole lot of football. I think this guy could be a breakout star if he's in a pass-friendly offense. Obviously, like, if he's in an offense, like, somebody that just runs the ball down your throat. Like, if he's playing for Tennessee
Not a
Titans,
whole lot of those anymore.
Yeah.
What are the Titans going to be, though?
Well, I'm saying, like, like Titans, the old Titans, yeah. If he's playing on a team like that, probably not going to do well. If he's playing on a team that's a pass-friendly offense that's throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game, I think he's going to succeed very well. Obviously, he's raw. He got to get into it with a good coach here. My NFL comp on him is Darnell Wright, who Darnell Wright was, what was he? What pick was he last year? 9? Was it 9?
Why does 12 sound right, but I don't remember.
No, 9 was Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
It was 12 because they traded from 12 to 9. 9 to 12.
It was a top 15 pick for sure.
Yeah. So, but that's my comp on him. I like him. I thought Darnell Wright was a little young or a little raw coming out, and I think this guy is. But honestly, for my number 10 tackle in the draft, he's a day one starter at right tackle, I believe.
Yeah, I think he probably moves to the right side. I think there's a chance he could bump into guard if you need him to.
Yeah,
but I do think
he's a big guard and he's quick.
Yeah,
he's moves. Very quick.
He moves pretty well.
So I think if he does play guard, he's going to be a hell of a guard.
Which I
think he's going to be a good tackle.
Just for a reference point here, Christian Haynes, who a lot of people have as one of the top guards in the draft, he ran 5.03. So they're within a tenth of each other as far as in the 40 goes. My comp on him, I had Wyatt Teller on him.
Okay, so, I like that.
He's a very aggressive tackle, which obviously some coaching that'll. It's not a bad thing. Obviously, I want my offensive linemen to be a mauler in that way. I like the kill shot. He will finish. When he hits his kill shot, he buries people. But yeah, I am at 10 as well.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Number 9.
All right, number 9. So I have Patrick Paul out of Houston.
Okay.
Is he on your list?
No.
He is not on your list. Okay.
I had him at like 11.
Okay.
That's probably where I had him.
I like him. I love his size. He's 6'8", 331. Obviously, that can be a little bit of a downside sometimes, especially if you're going against a smaller edge rusher. That center of gravity a little bit. But, I mean, runs a 5.13. That's for a 6'8" human being. That's pretty decent. So he has exceptional arm length. He's strong as hell. He has good athleticism for how big he is. Obviously, it's not really noticed as much with how big he is. You don't really see it as much. He has a very wide reach, and he uses that effectively to slow down edge rushers. Sometimes it gets a little challenging for them to get around him because of how long he is. So
he's got long arms too.
Yeah,
36 and a quarter in the arm length.
Yeah, he has good initial explosiveness. His lateral mobility very good. He can match his athleticism helps him kind of match edge rushers a little bit. So, and he's pretty good. He has good awareness, taking good angles, adapting that, and identifying blitzes. I think this guy's probably the most raw prospect on this list. I mean, there's parts of me that wanted to put the BYU kid above him. But I really like this guy's size and strength. I think he has a little bit more upside. I think he has more upside in the run game than the kid from BYU. I'm just going to call him the kid from BYU because I don't want to butcher his name anymore.
Kingsley.
Yeah, Kingsley. Yeah, Kingsley.
I mean, he's played a lot of football. He's got 44 starts, all left tackle.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, obviously he's going to have some weakness. Like, obviously he shows a little bit of limitations as a run blocker. Shows a tendency to lose leverage and control in the second phase of blocks. His massive frame and his upright stance contribute to inconsistent pad level. Sometimes he struggles with his hand placement in the run blocking. Kind of makes it easy for the guys to get off him. And I mean, he's a big dude, too. So, I mean, he has to get his center of gravity down low, get his pad level low. I watched a little bit of tape on him, too, and he dips his head a decent amount, which isn't good. I I think all of his work is in the run game. I think he's a very raw run blocker, very similar to Kingsley, and I think that's why they're both at the bottom of the list. But I mean, his length is very good. His strength is very good. He's decent. He's a decent athlete for how big he is.
I mean, he ran 177 in the 10 yards, so which I mean, the 10 yard matters more for linemen than anybody else, in my opinion.
If he can improve as a run blocker, like I think obviously he needs to improve very well as a run blocker. I think this guy is the sky's the limit for him. My comp on him is King Dunlap.
Okay.
King Dunlap was a good tackle for many years.
Yeah, he was.
But obviously King Dunlap was what, 6'9"? Like he was a big dude.
Half, yeah. So I mean, they're both.
He was a
guys.
big dude. So
he's got small hands for being as tall as he's 9 3/8.
9 3/8. I saw that.
A little smaller in the hands. Not all really important for a lineman. 30 on the bench press at the combine. It said 10.77. I'm sorry, not 10. 10 yard split was 1.77. 10.77. Growl.
Yeah. So I like him. I think he's very raw, but I think like I said, I think all 10 of these guys are future starters.
Yeah, and for me, obviously, he's played 44 games at left tackle. He's a two-time All AAAC, so the level of competition is questionable at times for me. I probably had him in the 11 to 12 range, just outside of my top 10. The core strength didn't seem to be there for me. It was part of my biggest reason and probably why he's not in my top 10. He doesn't really finish blocks real well. He's not overly aggressive as far as that goes. I do think he's kind of raw for playing as much football as he has, which I don't love.
Yeah.
That's why I had him outside of mine. But mine for me was I have Jordan Morgan out of Arizona.
Okay. He's my 8.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have him next on my list.
Yeah, obviously PFF. He was pretty highly rated on PFF. He was 83.5 in the overall, 87.3 in the pass rush, 77 in the run. So he's pretty well rounded. 3-year starter. He got 37 career starts at left tackle. 6'5". What was his official combine weight? I did this before.
I got it right here. 311.
311. Okay, I have it 312, so that works.
10 and 7 8-inch hands. Massive hands.
How does hands grow? So the Senior Bowl are 10 and 3/4. Somebody's measuring tape's lying.
10 and 7/8 I have here. Arm length 32 and 7/8. Wingspan 81. 80.
Yeah, so he got a little bit short arms for me. But other than that, I don't really have.
That's what I have on his big weakness.
Yeah, he has shorter arms, but he's got a good build. He's got strong hands. Obviously, he also jumped 9.2 in the broad jump. Just burying Cameron Kitchens here more and more. 1.7 in the 10-yard split was pretty quick. 5.04 in the 40 overall. Played a good amount of football. He's very good on angle blocks. So he's very good at sealing the angles. He's got good burst. He moves pretty well for a bigger guy. He's a pretty good pulling tackle, which is why I think he may be better at guard, but I do think he's a tackle. I think he's a tackle who can give you versatility inside or
I definitely think he's versatile to go inside.
I do too. Thinks he's got to work on. Obviously, he'll open his hips a little bit in pass pro.
Yep.
So he's got to get a little better with his hips. He will overset. Can be a little heavy-footed at times. Sometimes his feet don't move quite as good. And his biggest complaint for me, or biggest issue for me, was he does struggle with stunts. He doesn't pick up the stunt real well. I don't know if he doesn't see it before the snap come in or something like that. So I do think there's some definite room to grow there. Does have some injury concerns. Tore his ACL in 22. He missed games both in 20 and 21. So he did play all last year, but he has missed games in 3 of the 4 years he was in college. Including him, he started 2 games as a true freshman in 2019, but that's the only really games he played that year. Was an honorable All Pac-12 conference player there in the last 2022, and then he was first team All Conference last year, and then last year in the Pac. My NFL comp I have on him is a guy like Justin Pugh.
Yeah.
Just because I think I put Justin Pugh at guard. If he stays at tackle, maybe like a Charles Leno kind of Leno or however you can't say it.
Kind of like a journeyman guy. Like
I think he's a serviceable guy. I don't think he's a top tackle or guard really at the league wherever he ends up finding a home.
I don't think his ceiling is as high as the other two guys we just talked about.
No, but his floor is higher.
But I think his floor is definitely higher.
That's why I have.
Like this guy is going to be a serviceable starter for many years, whether it's a guard or tackle.
Yeah, he's a 12-year vet.
Yeah. Notes I had on him since he's my 8. Obviously, he lacks the arm length a little bit. This guy cannot fall to a team in a zone blocking scheme because his zone blocking is not very good. Sometimes like.
Oh, I lied, Joe.
I did put on here too. Kind of wasted motion. Sometimes he takes a little bit too many steps to where he needs to go. Like on a simple run play, sometimes he takes kind of a couple false steps, kind of slows him down to getting to where he needs to go. So I think he just has to work on his steps and working on his pre-snap. You talked about that.
Yeah.
Identifying stunts, identifying blitzes, stuff like that. So I think he's a very serviceable guy. I don't think he's as raw as some of the other guys on the list. I think he's going to go in and he's going to be a serviceable guy right away, either at guard or tackle. He has a good size to be a guard if he wants to be a guard. So, yeah. I like him. Again, not as raw as some of the other guys. So, but he's my 8.
Okay.
So unless you want me to go to 7, or let me hear your 8.
No, I lied to you about Patrick Pearl. I did apparently have him at 8. For some reason, I did these rankings a couple weeks ago when we were supposed to initially do this video until life got in the way.
Oh, so
for some
Patrick
reason,
Pearl
I thought I had him at 11.
Okay.
I had him at 8. So he's my 8. we're both on 7.
Glad we're on the same page again here, buddy.
I'll give you my 7. My 7 here was Troy Fatnow. Which I probably should have him higher.
Really?
Yeah. Like I said, I did this before Combine. If I was doing this post-Combine, he'd probably be higher on mine. But
he's a lot higher on mine.
Yeah, he probably should be higher on mine.
Yeah, he's a lot higher on mine.
In all honesty, looking at my list above it, I would
Here's the thing with Troy Fatnow, though. We can talk about him just a little bit right now. Troy Fatnow very well could be a guard, and I think he's an all-pro guard.
Yeah, I have a tackle/guard on here. Yeah. I think he gets a chance at tackle.
I think he's going to go into the league as a tackle. I think Troy Fatnow, besides Joe Alt, is the most NFL-ready player, offensive lineman in the draft.
Real high on him. Looking at my list there, if I was to redo it, I think I'd put him at 6. I don't think I'm that much higher.
I'm still a lot higher on him.
But I'll give you mine. Obviously, he was 6'3", 317. He's a very good athlete. He's very good on pulls, which is why I think he could play guard.
Yeah. I think he goes in the league as a tackle, but
I think he goes in the league with a chance to play tackle, and he plays tackle until he proves he can't play tackle, and then he plays guard.
And then he's a very good guard.
Yeah. I think he's very agile. He's very heavy-handed. He's got very, very strong hands. He's elite on pulls. He will play over his head at times. He does have a tendency to kind of lose control. He will reach at times. And his set points, which I think was my biggest thing, he's very inconsistent on his set points, which makes it hard to create the pocket quite well. I do like him. Like I said, I probably would bump him up this list, post Senior Bowl and Combine, so that's when I initially did these. PFF has him as a 75 overall grade, 88.2 in the pass rush. A little raw in the run game. He's only 61.9. He was a 2-year starter at Washington. I have him kind of comped to like a Elijah Vera Tucker.
That's mine too.
I see a lot of Elijah Vera Tucker on there. So
and Elijah Vera Tucker is one of them guys that has a chance to play tackle and is probably a good tackle, but he's a better guard. And I think teams will realize that Troy Fatnow will be a better guard than he is a tackle. But I think he's NFL ready right now. I think he could step in right now and be
the first round.
Huh?
I think he's in the first round.
He's 100% in the first round. I'm a lot higher on him than you were.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I'm
going to surprise you where he's at. I'm going to let you just find out where he's at.
I'm good with that. So who's 7 for you?
7 is Tyler Guyton.
Tyler Guyton? Okay.
Tyler Guyton.
I'm higher on Guyton than you are then.
Yeah, so I like Tyler Guyton. Again, he's another one of them big guys that I really like. He's 6'8", 322, 10.25-inch hands. He has 34 1/8 inch arm length, 82-inch wingspan. Ran a 5.19 40, so still pretty good for a big guy like that. Vertical is 34.5.
I think he runs better at his pro day.
Yeah,
I do.
I think so. but 34.5-inch vertical is ridiculous for a guy that's 6'8". 3-cone was 7.5. I thought that was pretty solid. He ran a 4.71 shuttle, which is a little meh, but all in all, I like his tape. That's one thing about Tyler Guyton is I really like his intangibles they're good.
His upside's ridiculous in my opinion.
I love his tape. I really love his tape. He played good football, and he played at Oklahoma, so like he didn't play like he
didn't play early.
Yeah,
he only played 1 year.
But the games he played, he's playing against good teams. He's playing against good edge rushers. Like he's not playing against scrubs. So I mean, he played good football. Again, 6'8". What I say his weight was 322. He has very good frame. He's the ideal size for an NFL offensive tackle. He has very good athleticism for his size, nimble footwork, allows for effective engagement and maneuverability against his defenders. He has very impressive explosiveness off the snap, especially in the run block. And this is one of the first guys on this list here that is a very good run blocker.
PFF does not like him in the run game.
I watch his tape. I'm telling you, watch his tape.
Yeah, his tape looks.
Watch his tape. He's a good run blocker. He has very broad range as a puller. Like he can pull as good as any tackle in this draft. He's very powerful when he engages with his defenders. He uses his length. He uses his burst effectively. He has very good balance and leverage, which obviously for a guy that size, it's very important. And he demonstrates a really high technical skill in his pass sets. Like he's very technical. He's a technical guy. I really, really like Tyler Guyton, but the problem is there's a lot of good tackles in this draft.
Yeah.
Like Tyler Guyton's a first-round pick.
Yeah, he's going in the first.
Yeah.
But there's probably 8 tackles in the first round.
Yeah. There's a lot of good tackles.
I think there's 8.
Tyler Guyton is a top 2 tackle in a lot of other drafts.
Yeah, I don't think he gets past Dallas.
Yeah. But a couple weaknesses I have here on him. Occasional lapses in his hand placement, his grip strength sometimes. His size is advantageous, but his arm length and leverage might not be considered elite, I guess. Like, he doesn't have the longest arms in the world for how tall he is.
82 and 3. I mean, no, arms are 34 and an eighth, I think it was. They were 34 and 3, or 34 and a quarter at a senior poll. So,
and obviously, him being 6'8", what's the biggest thing you're going to find in a tackle at 6'8"? The pad level.
Yeah.
Get your pad level down. Obviously, he's going to have to learn how to play lower, and it is tough for a guy like that. But adjusting on the fly to complex defensive schemes, sometimes that football IQ just needs to kick in a little bit. I think he just needs a couple years in the NFL, and this guy's going to be dominant. He has limited starting experience at the collegiate level. So a couple people questioning his readiness for the NFL. I think he's a little raw.
He's a little bit of a project. He's a little raw. I mean,
but this guy's upside, this guy's ceiling
starts.
This guy's ceiling is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think he has one of the higher ceilings in this one. I'm a little higher on him than you are. But I kind of see a lot of similarities with him. He's got elite athletics. He's very. I don't think he tested as well as I thought he was going to at the combine. But I think he's going to run better at his pro day. Although 5.19 is pretty good for a guy at his size.
Yeah.
He's got a pro frame. He's very strong anchored, especially against the bull rush. He handles the bull rush really, really well, in my opinion. He's very quick in pass pro. He's got very good range too for a tackle. I think he is a little on the raw side. His footwork at times can lapse. Did have a couple games where he would lose leverage at times.
Yeah.
And his biggest concern with me was he gets manipulated with hesitation and stutters more than I'd like to see.
Yeah.
But I think it comes back to him being a little raw. Said I'm a little higher on him. I'll give you my number once we get to him for me.
Yeah.
But he's an athlete though. He played 2 years at TCU before moving on to Oklahoma. He started a game him as a H-back. You know, he was a DN. You know, he was a DN coming out of high school. So he's got to start at H-back as well. So not too many 6'8" guys getting that start there. So he is relatively new to the position. So that's part of it. I think his ceiling is tremendous. PFF had him as a 63.7 overall, 72.9 in the pass. Had him as a 60 in the run game. I didn't see it. He looks better in the run game and on tape, in my opinion. At least the games that I watched of him. I have him NFL comp to like Phil Loadholt is who I have him NFL comp to. Both Oklahoma tackles as well.
Yeah.
But I think he's a really good right tackle from day one.
Yeah, 100%. I really like him. I love his upside.
So I think his floor is 22 of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I don't see how he gets past there, especially with Tyron's.
I think all these guys are above that. I think all these guys above that I'm about to tell you from Tyler Guyton on are top 25 picks.
Yeah, I do think he's, well, I think Amarius Mims maybe behind him. Which, speaking of Amarius Mims,
is he your 7?
He was my 6.
He's my 6 as well. Did you say you're 7?
Yeah, my 7 was 5.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Amarius Mims is my 6 as well.
Okay.
I love Amarius Mims. He was very close to being my 5.
Amarius Mims, I love when he's healthy.
Yeah.
the biggest,
he hurt himself running the 40.
Yeah, it's the injury concerns with him. He's only got 7 starts in his career, so that's a little alarming.
That's the biggest concern about him. But he's 6'8", 340, 11 and a quarter inch hands.
He's a big dude.
He's a big son of a bitch. 5'07", 40.
For how big he is, he's a physical freak.
Yeah. He has long arms, 36 and an eighth. Like this dude. Obviously, I think he's a day one starter at right tackle too.
I think he's the best pure right tackle in this draft.
I agree.
Outside of Fuaga,
I
think
agree.
It's probably better. Like I said, the biggest concern with him is injury. I didn't like that he only jumped 25.5. I didn't like that. His broad jump was better than his vertical. He actually outjumped Cameron Kitchens. Good fuck. He jumped 9.3 in the broad jumps, which, I mean, I like to see those numbers with all offensive line because it's just your base strength.
One of his strengths on the size too. I mean, he doesn't really carry any bad weight. Like he has good mass, good length. Like this dude's just a fucking tank.
Yeah.
High energy athlete. He can move like a tight end in space if he needs to. Like he can move pretty quick. He's effective in loading his base and generating torque through his extensions. Impressively agile in lateral movements. His hinge flexibility is crazy good. He has good knee bend. Honestly, for being a guy that size, like out of all these big 6'8" guys, like he probably bends and gets his pad level the best out of all of them. Problem is, I want to see more tape. I want to see more tape.
Yeah, that's the hard thing with Mims is not a ton of tape on him. I said it's only seven starts. You couldn't build a better offensive tackle as far as just straight build goes. You couldn't build.
He has the best build in the league, or best build in the draft.
Yeah, for sure. 6'8", 340. Like he's a big dude,
and he's strong. Like he's not fat. Like he's not overweight.
No, he's
just muscle mass.
Yeah, he's a strong human being.
Yeah,
for sure. He's very fluid with his moves. He moves well. He's got very, very strong hands. Probably the strongest ones in the class, I think. Especially with his grip strength. It's absolutely elite with grip strength. He's got good quickness. I do think he will drift at times in his pass pro. Footwork can be inconsistent, but again, he's only played 7 college games.
Yeah.
He's a little raw in the run game. PFF has him total 75.6. His pass rush is at an 81.2. Run game was 68.4. But the biggest concern with him is just the injury history. Yeah. Honestly, I think he's a perfect fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers to reunite him back there with Broderick Jones and get to the Georgia bookend tackles in back-to-back years wouldn't be a bad move for them.
No, I mean I like him. I think if he figures out the run game, this dude's gonna be a fucking monster. Like
who's your comp on him?
I didn't put one for him just because.
It's tough. With the limited tape.
He's hard because you don't see a whole lot of football. Like I have comps that I would like to see out of him. Like there's guys that I could see potential of him turning into, but like there's just not a lot of on-field tape that compare him to somebody.
When he's on tape, he's a monster.
Yeah.
For me, I have Taylor Decker on him. Both kind of bigger tackles there. Obviously, Taylor plays left, which I think he plays right. I can see a little Donovan Smith in him when he's healthy as well. But yeah, I have Taylor Decker as a comp on him.
Yeah.
Which
I see Jawan Taylor on film.
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I see Jawan Taylor, but he's one of them guys I could see Penei Sewell if he gets it all together. Dominant, like dude, he has the build to be absolutely dominant.
Yeah,
he can dominate anyone.
He fits on really any offense in the league. It's just he's got to stay healthy, and that's the biggest knock on him, and it's the biggest positive on anybody's availability. So that's the tough part with him. But 5 for me, that's where I had Tyler Guyton. So okay. I had Guyton at 5, gotcha. Just based on the upside of him and the athletic ability.
Yeah, I like him. I think he does have a really good upside. All right, so my 5, you might laugh at this one. So my 5 is Olu Fashanu.
Okay.
I do believe there's 4 better tackles in this draft than Olu Fashanu. And honestly, if I'm an NFL GM, I'm probably taking Amarius Mims before I take Fashanu. I might take Tyler Guyton before I take Fashanu. I've been very open about this. I am not very high on him. I think he's serviceable. I think he's serviceable. He has very quick feet. I think he's pretty decent in the pass game. My biggest concern about him is I think he's very soft. And when you watch him against good talent, when he got absolutely annihilated by Ohio State.
Yeah.
He did not look like a top tackle prospect against Ohio State.
Yeah, I didn't like really much of his tape.
I don't like his tape at all. I think last year's kind of similar to Kalen King. I think last year's tape's
last year's tape looked better on him.
But, I mean, obviously he has some injury concerns there. He's 6'6", 312, so he's good size. Not very ideal arm length, 34-inch arm length. He has very, very small hands at 8.5-inch. 32-inch vertical. 5'11", 40. Yeah.
What was his 10-yard? I don't remember that. 177. That's not terrible. Jumps well. 32 vertical, 9-1 on the broad jump.
I think so. I think he's soft. I really do. I think he's a soft player. I think when he gets NFL talent,
why did he not bench press? Is my question.
Because I think I don't think it would have been very good. So I think he was just trying to avoid it. I don't think he has the ideal strength to be an elite run blocker in the league. I don't think he'll ever become an elite tackle. Just watching him. I mean, Penn State always has pretty bad offensive line. And, I mean, his play, I think Danny Shelton at Penn State's a better tackle than he is. And Danny Shelton's his backup.
He's tough for me. Obviously, I have him higher ranked on here. And I don't like where I have him ranked. And I really... This is where I kind of got to where I maybe took other people's opinions on him more than I feel like
because
people were very high on him, and I'm like, am I missing something? And that's kind of
I don't see it. I really don't. He struggled. Remember when you and I were at the Misericordia LVC game? I was watching the Penn State game because I wanted to see if Bo Prabula was going to get in the game. No, I'm watching. I think it was Illinois they were playing.
Yeah, he was looking on snap count last year.
He was struggling.
Weird, yeah,
dude. He was struggling against them. Like, honestly, I don't like his film. We can talk about all these notes and stuff that we have on him. Like, yeah, he has decent athleticism. He's pretty decent in pass sets. He has good, quick feet. Like, there's a lot of inconsistencies in his game. I think he's a soft
short arm. I don't know if he. I don't know. Does he not move into guard? Like, I thought he was gonna be bigger than when he actually came in.
You know who I see him as? I see Evan Neal.
Okay.
The comp to Evan Neal, good in college. I see Alex Leatherwood. Guys that did really good, like did decent in college, but then got to the league and didn't really translate. I don't think he translates to the league. I really don't.
Yeah,
and I've watched a lot of tape on this guy, and I don't like him.
And I think that's kind of I'm not a big Penn State guy, so I think I'm kind of a little harder on them, and I maybe tried to lighten up a little bit on them, and I don't know why, because I'm not a huge fan of him. He does have a decent build. He's he's really good in pass protection. Like, he's really good in pass protection, but he's terrible in run.
Yeah. And I think he's very good in the pass protection for the teams he plays. He got eaten up by Michigan. He got eaten up by Ohio State. How many pass rushers are in the NFL from Michigan and Ohio State?
A lot.
He's going to be playing Michigan and Ohio State every week. He's not playing fucking Delaware or UMass every week.
I mean, Penn State don't play the tough.
He's playing Michigan and Ohio State every week.
Yeah. With that being said, though, I do feel like he picked up stunts pretty well. Over the course of his career, he has pretty decent footwork. He's pretty decent on the anchor. He does a lot of things pretty decent, like nothing super impressive in my opinion. He's pretty quick out of his stance, though, which I do like his quickness to get back. He plays way too upright. He's very raw as a run blocker. Not sure how much balance he has, and I don't know how very aggressive he is. He's not the most aggressive of an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Some injury concerns there too. So I have him comped to like a Cam Robinson. Is where I
I like that. I actually really see that comp too. I think he's a worse Cam Robinson.
He's tough for me. So I wanted to have him farther down the list, and I feel like I dropped him farther than a lot of players were, and I still don't feel like it was far enough for me. I think he could be good. Like, could be.
He could be. I'm sorry, I don't see it. I don't see the hype around him. I've watched a lot of Penn State football. I'm a Penn State guy. I've watched a lot of Penn State football. I do not see the hype around this guy at all. So,
all right, where are we at? 4.
That was my 5.
4. Yeah,
Did
5
you say
was
your 5?
5 was Guyton for me. So.
Oh, that's right. We
4.
might have the same 4.
Probably.
Who's your 4?
4 is J.C. Latham.
That's my 4. Honestly, one of the only things I don't like about J.C. Latham's game is that he's a right tackle. That's honestly one of the only things. And honestly, I can see.
He was going to play left this year until he got the.
Depending on where he goes.
What the hell?
I think he could play 3 positions. I think he could play either tackle, and I think he could play guard if he wanted to. He's a very good tackle, but I think if a team has 2 very good tackles, he can be a very good guard.
Yeah, I mean, I think he ends up finding a home at left. I do. And if he can't play left, he can definitely play right.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously he has a lot of tape as a right tackle. 6'6", 342, 11-inch hands, 35 and an eighth inch arm. So obviously good size, and a 4'8", 540.
Yeah, he runs well.
Runs very well. I think he's very athletic. I think he's probably one of the most athletic tackles in the draft. Like, this guy obviously has prototypical NFL size, 6'6", 342. I think he's probably the most consistent out of a lot of these guys. We've been talking about.
Yeah.
He's very consistent.
And we played the SEC, so I mean, you see good pass rushers every single week.
Yeah. Shows good lateral mobility, especially in the pass protection. In the zone run scheme, his athleticism definitely showed through. Able to get his reach blocks when he needs to, the backside seals and the pull blocks, stuff like that. And his gravitational pull is outstanding. Like, he's very good. He's very good pulling for a tackle. He has very good hand strength. A couple people made them or referred as vice grip like. And as a run blocker, he's a mauler. Like, he definitely shows the mauler trait as a run blocker. He's a very good run blocker.
He's very well-rounded. There's nothing he doesn't do decent.
Yeah, he's a very good. I don't really have a whole lot of weaknesses on his game. I think his feet could be a little quicker.
Is there a reason why he wasn't at Combine? Did I miss that?
He was there.
Was he?
Yeah. He didn't run.
I don't think he did.
But he did field drills, and he looked good in the field drills.
Did he not do any of the testing?
I don't know if he did. But he did on-field drills.
Yeah, I know he did on-field, but why did he do it? I don't see him on any of the testing stuff.
I think another thing he has to work on, too, is the flags. Try to limit the flags. He's got a couple holding calls. Little tendency to lunge. Sometimes he's a little too aggressive in the run game and lunges. His weight distribution and discipline, I think, could use a little bit of work. but not a whole lot of weaknesses on my end from him. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I only had two negatives on him, and mine can be overly aggressive, which I don't mind, and
he's an offensive lineman.
Yeah. I like an aggressive one.
I see a little bit of Trevor Penning in him.
A little bit.
The aggressiveness of it.
Yeah. And my only negative I really had him on was he will freeze his feet on a stutter move sometimes, and they're really the only negatives I have on him. PFF loved him too. Yeah, 81.9 overall, 81.7 in the pass pro, 79.6 in the run. So, very, very highly graded. 2-year starter, 23 starts. All right tackle. Would have played left if they didn't get the guy whose name is escaping me, the freshman for Bama there this year. He was going to play left tackle this year if they didn't land him in the offseason. He's got a broad frame. He's got a big body. He's a big body guy. But he moves pretty well for being as big as he is. He's got elite strength, great balance and agility. His handwork is top notch, and he's a tone setter. He's a very physical tackle. For me, he reminds me a little bit of Trent Brown. So
I like that.
Yeah, and Evan Neal. I like that
a lot. Yeah, if Evan Neal was good. Jesus. And we were agreement. We were both on 4.
Yeah, both on 4.
All right. So my 3 is your boy Troy Fontenot.
Okay.
I really like him. I really think he's NFL ready. I think if it's not a tackle, I think he could play guard, but he's going to get a chance at tackle. He's more of a guard size. He's 6'4", 317. I think he probably ends up playing guard down the road. 9.5-inch hands. 40 was a 501. 10-yard was a 171. So I think he did pretty good there. Vertical was 32.5. Broad was 113.
He's a pro. Yeah. There's not a whole lot. I mean, he's a pro. Whether it's a tackle or it's guard.
I think he's going to be a very good pro. I like him. I'm very high on him. His athleticism, his power, his length, all very good. He has heavy hands. He's very agile, especially in the pass protection. He does very good. He's very good coming to pulling too. When he's pulling, he's a good pull guy. That's why I think he might be a very good guard, and I think he will move to guard. His flexibility is unmatched. Like, he has very good flexibility, and impressive length for how tall he is, for only being 6'4". But I think he shows a tactical approach in the pass protection. Like, he's very strategic. Obviously, he's not the biggest guy in the world. He's going to be strategic when he's pass blocking. A couple weaknesses here: inconsistent positioning, hand positioning. Sometimes he has a little bit of a balance issue. That's really a big thing in tackles. You got to have the balance. Obviously, you're going to be dealing with guys that are going to be trying to put you off balance all day. So your balance needs to be there. He's very aggressive. Sometimes that gets the best of him a little bit. His hand usage sometimes lacks precision. Sometimes he doesn't always get it to where it needs to be. I think he's not a dominant run blocker yet. He's a good run blocker. He's not dominant. I think if he's going to go inside and play guard, he's going to have to learn how to play. He's going to have to be dominant. But I think he gets a chance at tackle. I do think in the next 2 years he's a guard, and I think he's going to be a very good guard.
I think he plays tackle until he proves he can, and I think he can play it. I don't really have all that much concern with it. I didn't love that he didn't bench. I don't like when linemen don't bench at the combine. It seems somewhat scary to me. It seems like a red flag for me. Except I had him at 7. If I would have did this post combine, post Senior Bowl,
you're probably
closer to 5 or 6 for me. 3 for me was Fashion Now. So I'm not crazy about it. Said I don't really feel like he's the number 3, but I don't know, trying to be not quite as hard on Penn State. But maybe is the only reason why I have him at 3. But he's 3 for me. We talked about him already. I don't want to waste any more time on a pick I don't love.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Now, so my top 2 was a little bit harder for me than I thought it was going to be.
My top 2 wasn't.
I mean, this guy made it a little bit harder. Obviously, my number 1 guy was still obviously
I think 1 is
a lock.
a lot. I think there's a big drop off to 2.
Yeah. Honestly,
That's not saying 2.
But so my number 2 is Talise Fuaga.
And mine too.
Yeah, I figured that was going to be. But
shocker.
I think he made it a little harder than what it should have been. I really, really, really like Fuaga's upside. I really do. 6'6", 324, 10 and 1/8 inch hands, 32-inch vertical, ran a 5.13. 10-yard was a 1.77, which is just below that 1.75 that they really want you to be at. But his length is really good. Has an 81-inch wingspan. His arms are a little undersized, obviously. 33 and 1/8 inch arms. Like, he has some undersized arms, and I think that's probably his biggest weakness.
Other than being a right tackle.
Yeah. So, I mean, but can he play the left? Probably. Yeah. I mean, but he's a very, very, very good right tackle. And somebody might drop him on their boards just to the fact that he hasn't played left tackle.
I don't know. I kind of think the floor might be 10 for him.
Yeah. I mean, people are going to see his blocking in the run game and love him. He's a very ferocious run blocker
in this draft.
I agree.
And PFF has him on a 90.9 in the run game.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he is the best run blocker in the draft. He has an NFL ready frame. He has very heavy hands. His handwork is very good. Disrupts the momentum of a pass rusher. He can adapt to various roles on the offensive line too. I think if he needs to, he can play guard if he absolutely had to.
There's a chance he has to bump in.
I don't think he has to, but if he has to, I think he could be good at it. But I don't think a team would be stupid enough to move him. He has elite explosiveness and range. Like, it's rare agility for a guy his size. Just very, very quick, good athlete on the outside. He has very good leverage, pad level. He's one of the bigger guys that really stays down and keeps his knee bend. So I think that's very important for a guy of his size. He's very good in his recovery and redirection as well. His hips are very good. He can adjust quickly. It's like these guys going inside on him. He has a good football IQ out there as well. Couple weaknesses, obviously his arm length for me was a really big one. Sometimes he's upright. Pad level's still good, but sometimes he stands a little upright. If he can get into a more athletic position, I think he will be a lot better in the pass game. Sometimes he's a little over aggressive, obviously, as being as good of a run blocker as he is. He can be a little over aggressive, and his footwork can use a little work. I think he can just use a little bit of work in his feet. So, but I really like him as well.
Did you compliment him?
I think I wrote it down here.
Oh, I can get that out. I'll give you mine on here. Obviously, PFF has him as an 88.2 overall, 80 in the pass game, 90.9 in the run game, which is crazy.
Oh, that's what it was. I had Paris Johnson.
Okay. And he's got 25 career starts, all at right tackle. I do think there's a chance he plays left, but I think he's a really good right tackle in the league. He's got a very large frame. I was a little surprised that his arm length came back what it did. They looked longer than what they are, but maybe the tape measure doesn't lie. Unless you're telling your girlfriend or something. But he's got very good initial quickness there. He's very good at climbing to the second level. He's got elite hand striking, I thought. His hands were very, very good. And he likes to finish his pass protection. So he's got that nastiness to him that you want in an offensive lineman. I think his floor's 10. I don't think he gets past 10. Could potentially go higher. I think he has a tendency to overset at times. And he will drop his outside hand occasionally, but that's really the only two knocks I had on him were kind of minor knocks for me, but he's dominant in the run game. He seals the edge, or seals the cutoff real well. Gets to the second level, probably the best out of anybody in this class. I really like him. Also out-jumped Cameron Kitchens. We're just going to keep burying this guy.
We're killing Cameron Kitch's draft stock.
9'3" in the broad jump, so I do like to see that. He was very good at the Senior Bowl. Had a good combine as well. I have him comped to kind of like a Braden Smith from the Colts there.
I like that.
Braden Smith's really good when he's healthy, and injuries have been a real concern. But that leaves us with number 1.
And I don't think it was really a competition.
It wasn't, in my opinion. I don't.
This dude.
Early on, Fashanu was supposed to be the best tackle, and I didn't see that.
No,
but
I don't see it. Joe Alt is going to be generational. I really believe he is. In this group of strong tackles, he stands out. Big time. I think I'm just going to throw some comps out here for this guy real quick. I mean, we can go talking about his strengths. There's a lot of them. He has a lot of strengths. He's very good at everything. He's very good as a pass blocker. He's very good as a run blocker. He's 6'9". What is he? 6'9", 321, and ran a 5.05. He has 10-inch hands, which is good. 34 and a fourth inch arms, which is good. His 10 yards a 173. 3 cones a 731. Shuttles 451. His broad jump was 112. So
9 foot 4 inches.
Huh?
9 foot 4 inches.
9 foot 4 inches. Thank you.
Which is more than Cameron Kitchen.
Yep. Vertical was 28 inches, but he's high vertical. But yeah, we could talk about his strengths. It's going to be a lot if we talk about his strengths.
Yeah,
he's dominant in both sides of the game. There's a couple things. Obviously, he's going to have to just clean up getting into the league. So his dry blocking, finishing the play, I think he can benefit there. Sometimes he lunges against some faster guys that are doing hesitation moves or something like that. Sometimes you see a little bit of lunges in his games. So, I mean, he can clean that kind of stuff up, and I think his quickness and his kick step a little bit because sometimes he relies on his size. He relies on his size for somebody not to get around him. So he's obviously going to need to be a little bit quicker in his kick step coming in. But my comps on him, I'm just going to give you 2. I think his ceiling, or I think he can be Joe Thomas.
I agree.
100%. He can be Joe Thomas.
I agree.
I think right now, coming out of college, his comp is his not teammate, but Notre Dame alumni, Mike McGlinchey.
That's my comp on him as well. I guess his floor.
Yeah. I think his floor is Mike McGlinchey, his ceiling's Joe Thomas.
Yeah, I would agree.
He looks like, I'm watching his tape, looks exactly like Mike McGlinchey coming out of college.
Yeah, Joe Alt, it wasn't even close for me. Like it wasn't. He's tall.
I love Mike McGlinchey too. So if Mike McGlinchey is his floor,
Mike McGlinchey's a pretty damn good tackle.
Yeah. He played pretty. He had a couple penalty issues this year, but I mean he's a great tackle for San Francisco for so many years, and just got paid. So
the only knock I really had on him with the combine was he only benched 27 times, so he had same as Blake Horn there. Yeah. But I mean he's got long arm. I mean they're in 34 inches, but I mean not short.
They're not short.
Short arms. He's got arm length checks out. 10-inch hands checks out. Obviously runs really well. Gets to the second level extremely well as well. He plays with really good pad level for somebody who's 6'9".
Yeah.
He's got elite balance and athleticism. Handles the speed rush and bull rush both well. There's neither one he does bad on. Elite. I thought his footwork was pretty elite, probably the best in the class. He anchors probably the best in the class as well, I thought. Obviously, there's some bloodlines there too. With his dad was a 13-year pro and a Pro Bowler, so his dad got it done in the league. He's an athletic guy. He played quarterback up till high school, and then he moved to tight end. So he wasn't even a lineman until we got to college. Things I thought were maybe the small knocks on him. I thought he was slow to anchor sometimes on the bull rush, but once he anchors, it's good. So he will get pushed back a little bit on that, but and his hands would get wide at times. But that happens to damn near every tackle. So my floor on with Mike McGlinchey. You hit mine exactly. Joe Thomas was the ceiling on him.
I mean, you can see it. You can see it in his game. Like, obviously, Mike McGlinchey went to the league and became an elite right tackle. Like, I think McGlinchey's probably top 3 right tackles in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, Lane Johnson obviously is a very good right tackle. I think Tristan Wirfs was playing right tackle.
Tristan.
I think he's a left tackle now.
Yeah, he did move there now when he played as a rookie.
But McGlinchey's in your conversation for top tackles in the league.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance if Mike McGlinchey might go to the left side if they release Garrett Bowles to save some money. I can see happening. And McGlinchey obviously played the left side in college. Him and Quentin Nelson together were fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, he's just your prototypical tackle. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing you can't.
I'd love to see Joe Alt bring out the bar, the middle bar on the face mask like McGlinchey still wears.
I can see it. I can see it. And I mean, obviously he's from Minnesota, so like he's used to the cold weather, so that's not a concern. I don't have any concern with Joe Alt, and honestly, if New England took him at 3, I'd be all right with it.
Yeah, I think this guy, the highest I think he'll go is 4 to Arizona. I think that's his. I think that's his ceiling for.
As far as ceiling, I think there is a chance he does go 3. I don't think it's a great chance, but I think there is a chance he goes 3.
I think there's a real chance he's 5.
Yeah, I'm starting to. That's what I was going to say. I was saying I'm starting to really lean on 5 being.
Can you imagine if the Chargers pick him and then go get Blake Corum in the second round? You give Justin Herbert a guy who's going to protect him.
Yeah, my only question though is they have Rashawn Slater there, so which one moves?
Slater.
Everything I've seen, they say protect.
Slater's a very good left tackle. Right. I mean, he could be a very good right tackle.
Yeah.
If Alt does go play the right side,
I think his floor is 7. He doesn't get past the Titans.
No, I don't think so. I think somebody's going to try to go up and get him.
It's going to depend on the quarterback market. Everything comes back to the quarterback market, but that's.
I think if somebody's picking in the teens that think they're trying to really build their offensive line, like teams that are trying. Like, what about the Colts? Think the Colts try to go up and get him and get a good left tackle to protect Richardson?
No, I think they like their tackles they have. As long as Braden Smith can stay healthy, they like their tackles.
The Seahawks could use a tackle.
The Titans really feel like the fucking perfect fit for me. So I think that's his floor.
I think the Titans would be an absolute lock if Mike Vrabel was still there.
I still think they are one way or the other, but I do think 5 is probably where he ends up going.
Yeah.
If they don't trade back, I think there is a very realistic possibility they do trade that pick.
Yeah.
But if the Chargers stick at 5, I think it's Joe Alt.
Yeah. It's either Alt or Bowers. There might be some talk about a Dunze there now. Receiver. Do they go receiver? Do they go tackle? I mean, Joe Alt's a generational.
I do. Yeah.
Talent.
I do too. I think
there's one of them guys like
generational talent though too.
Yeah.
We'll get into that probably next week here. What do you want to do for position group next week?
Let's just keep with the offensive line. Let's go to the interior
guys. All right, so guard centers. We'll get that out.
Kind of go off. We can kind of piggyback off this, talking about who we thought was going to go to guard, who's not going to go to guard.
All right, we'll stick with the offensive line next week here for that video. But that's going to wrap it up here for this week. It's good to get back together here and do a duo here.
Finally
again. Hopefully next week, maybe depending here, we'll see if we can get back together next week. Might need a week off. We'll see. Either this week or next week. We'll definitely probably have to skip
your PTO request.
Yeah, baby's due by the 18th, so that's the induction date. So either this week or next week or the week after, we'll probably have to take a week off here. But we'll get to it. We'll probably be getting into some more position groups more here as we get ramped up here to the draft. Running out of time.
We
appreciate it, guys. We'll see you next week or the week after.
Thanks,
guys.